Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Midnight War, a campaign in the world under starlight. In the last couple of Midnight War videos, I have already given an introduction to what this campaign is. If you missed those, I would first of all encourage you to go back because this is a sequential story, although it's one that the players are essentially playing blind. But basically what we're doing here is we have, this is a 9-part campaign. Well, it's a little more than 9 parts, but roughly nine parts happening in 3 phases or 3 waves, where we have 3 different groups or 3 different factions that are all taking actions simultaneously, trying our best to keep good track of who is where and when they're there. And they're all trying to further the deeds of their factions in the world under starlight during the events of what will come to be known as the Midnight War, which currently is just a Cold War of sorts, although, as with all such things, there is a capacity for that to change. So I'm Richard. If you're watching this by now, you probably already know who I am, but I want to give everyone an opportunity to go around and introduce themselves and tell us who they'll be playing before we get into our intro. We're going to start with Noah.
All right. My name is Noah. I have, played role-playing games for a little while now, but mainly into fantasy type of things ever since I was a kid. I've always read fantasy, always been a part of fantasy things. So I am playing Jathar Sedhai, and he is not quite devious in nature. Not trying to be a troublemaker, but definitely ask some questions that he's not supposed to in places he might not supposed to be at.
Good.
Do you want us to go through like the description of the look at all, or
Tell us anything you want to tell us.
okay? Um, kind of shorter in stature, so around 5'6". He'll probably say maybe 5'7" sometimes.
Hmm.
But definitely slimmer, probably about 150, around 140, 150, something like that. And kind of your standard features of the world, nothing too out of the ordinary or anything like that. He does like to sometimes keep a low profile, but that's only when he's trying to hear what other people are saying that, again, he should not be a part of sometimes. So that's Jathar.
Cool. All right, Burke.
Hi, my name is Burke Ray, and I've also enjoyed tabletop RPGs and fantasy uh, novels and games for a long time. Ran and been in campaigns of a few different systems, and I'm excited about this one. My character is Ray Lavar, a star singer. He is very wiry, not quite tall, not quite short, and with very sort of tanned skin, um, made rough as leather from the hot sun and out on the deck of ships as he sails. As a star singer, he almost constantly has a song in his head that he claims to get from the stars. And he will absent-mindedly whistle at almost all times when he's not doing something else. Um, yeah, that's a little bit about him.
Awesome. Great. Dave, who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Hudos, who's a Luxembourg knight, and he's a man of war. And what's remarkable about him is he's either moving or he's completely still. And so people are surprised sometimes that he moves so quickly because he's usually also wearing armor. He's typically a full kit fellow. Doesn't like to even set his stuff down. It's always on him. But it seems like he also conserves his energy a lot by becoming almost like a statue sometimes. He keeps to himself, doesn't interact with others too much, but seems to be taking it all in.
It's a good detail. I like that a lot. All right, and Nate.
I'm Nate Heil. I have been playing RPGs since 1981. Cut my teeth on the Mold Bay Basic set in 1981. I have played just about every RPG you could imagine. AD&D and Pendragon are my favorites. I am playing tonight. I am playing Argar, a Ferkenbori warrior. And I don't know who he is yet, so I'll figure that out in play.
That's right. That's the correct answer, sir. All right. So there is a little bit of an introduction that I read. People listening along at home will hopefully have already heard this a few times, but it's the first time you guys have played in this campaign or even in this world, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and read the whole thing, and people at home can just bear along. All right. All right, so the Amborai are the people of sky, forest, and water. They trace their lineage back to Lananomen, the last of the lords of Starland who came out of the west with a great host, and thence to Fehoth himself, the first star to glimmer in the western sky. When Senkan built his city amid the sacred grove of cypress trees that surrounded the holiest of all hills, he established a kingdom and a lineage which would last the ages. For 3 aeons of the world the heirs of Senkan reigned, their legitimacy unquestioned, as long as they held the Hur Orupen, the living sword which Senkan forged long ago in the deep places of the earth, which would serve no master but him. But 30 years ago, the Hur Orupen was lost. It went to war in the hands of the good prince Galal, and Galal was betrayed by his dearest friend and lost in battle on the northern moors. Now, in the year 457 of the third Aeon, the cruel and some would say even mad King Onwae sits the throne. But his sword is one of dead iron, not of living steel, and many fear that the evil things stirring on the moor and in the waters of the Sea of Amborai are proof that the line of Senkan is failing at last. Beasts, strange and foul, stalk the northern moors. Around the cities of the archipelago, strange horrors with many eyes hunt the deep men once again. Now, all these troubles began in the late 440s and early 450s, where rumors began to come to Senkankar of evil things stirring along the northeastern border of the kingdom. The cultists of Taran Taror, the Bloody Vulture, attempted to undermine communities. Ancient evils awoke in the Surthatama, and in the year 451, a plague broke out with its source somewhere in the Chaith Wood. Although the spread of the fell disease was stopped, it proved to be the harbinger of evils to come. In the year 452, the river forts came under siege by the Naushpuri, and the fortress of Leil Yalir was captured and only retaken after great bloodshed. Around this time, more and more confirmed sightings of the Aryagbori, the great horned beasts of ancient legend, were reported. Now, all of these events, by the way, are events that you can play out yourself with Thunder in the North, the grand campaign in the World Under Starlight, which is very much a Pendragon influenced and inspired campaign set in the north of the world. And it's the one that my own play group played through over the course of the last 5 years. And the events that I'm kind of recounting to you right now, and the ones that I'll be telling you about in a moment, are basically their deeds, which in the living world of the setting have become matters of history and legend. So in the year 454, a major insurrection broke out in the Leopard Isles, actually the first of such insurrections. And it was led by Zishune, who is the Mother Superior of the Convent of the Ram of Dawn. Although the initial rebellion was ultimately squashed, it would break out again during the siege of Senkankar in 456. Currently, the Leopard Isles function as a semi-independent state led by a mercurial and charismatic nobleman known as the Midnight Prince. In the year 454, the Deepmen, that is the Nyetbori, every last one of them went missing, resulting in a major drop-off in sea trade and severe economic depression for port towns and island cities. This isolation allowed the insurrection in the Leopard Isles to blossom and resulted in a reduction in Senkankar's influence throughout the rest of the kingdom. Any attempts to seek for the deep men or to sail much beyond sight of the coastline ended in ships being ensnarled in enchanted waters, broken by great sea monsters, or stranded on treacherous reefs. And in the previous year, in the spring of 456, all of this culminated in the return of the deep men, who came and gathered in Forth, taking Koriksime, which is the harbor city outside of the holy city of Senkankar, by sudden assault. Senkenkar received warning in time, and the gates of the holy city were barred, leading to a long siege that wasted the population of the city and polluted or destroyed many of its surrounding towns and villages. The siege was unexpectedly lifted when Onorama the Bald, who in the meantime had seized the governorship of the northern province, marched to its relief. The Northmen drove the Deep Men back to the sea and, with the help of the city's garrison, shattered their ranks. The Deep Men fled, although they continued to prey upon shipping. Now, in the aftermath of the siege, several things happened. First was that King Onwae was forced to recognize the legitimacy of Onorama the Bald, who now ostensibly rules in the city of Ralakar, the capital city of the northern province of Chexaka, at the king's pleasure, so to speak, although in fact he is the de facto ruler, independent ruler of the north. There are rumors that Onwae is building a fleet to retake the Leopard Isles, but now those in the know speculate that it may actually be intended for the Red Isle, should the bellicose and always independent-minded islanders choose to take advantage of the current weaknesses of Senkenkar. Concerning King Onwae's own state, the rumors are dire. It is whispered in the streets of Senkenkar that the king keeps to his own quarters, ranting and raving for hours at a time. Only his Grand Vizier, the Baron Chiavista, is invited to his councils, and many people believe Chiavista is now running the palace, though they would never dare to say so to his face. In these uncertain times, the people of the royal district and of the islands are forced to look within their own communities for the strength to stand in times more evil than anything anyone remembers since the Civil War, or, as people are now calling it, the First Civil War. Now, we're going to begin tonight on the 18th day, I think that's right, on the 18th day of the month of Ibram. Yeah, on the 18th day of the month of Ibram, which is pretty coming up basically on midwinter. So it's in the winter months towards the end of the year. Emborian months are typically shorter. They're variable length for various reasons, but most of the time they're between 20 and 30 days. And the month of Ibram is a shorter month, so the month is almost over. The feast of Ibram, the Ram of Dawn, is approaching, which is kind of a midwinter festival to call the Ram of Dawn back towards the earth so that the winter will be shortened. And you are in the great trading city, the capital of the Leopard Isles, a city known as Dlafi Clorpem, which is on the island of Caur-i Clorpem, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's named after one of the early founders of the Leopard Isle, one of the early founders of the Leopard Isles. And Dlafi-i Clorpem is the largest city in the Leopard Isles. Actually, most of the isles in question are very, very small, like little, you have to think of like Pacific Island, like Posha Stamp kind of archipelago, tiny islands mostly covered in rocks and rich vegetation. Sheep are the main going thing in the Leopard Isles. Like most people are shepherds, and most of the villages on these little islands are villages of sheep herders. Wool is a major export, etc. However, the Leopard Isles also is also a really important kind of point of trade. It's kind of the trade gateway actually to the rest of the world under Starlight. So there are lands to the south inhabited by the Dalian kingdoms. These are kingdoms of basically just ordinary humans who are related to the Amborai ultimately, but the Amborai also have the sort of the star blood, like the fairy blood in them that kind of sets them apart. But to the south, there are the Dalian kingdoms, and as well as other lands that are farther afield. So the Leopard Isles are kind of actually like a major trade and cultural gateway, which means that Dlafi Clorpem is one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the lands around the sea. And you're here, as I mentioned, the Leopard Isles for the last year now have been in open revolt against King Onwae and what many perceive as his illegitimate rule of the kingdom. And and there are three factions basically that have kind of sorted themselves out. There are the followers of the enigmatic self-appointed ruler of the Isles, a man known as the Midnight Prince. And the Midnight Prince, who takes his name from like an ancient king who used to rule over the Isles, who may or may not have been actually a large Black Panther. Stories differ, but I say that he's enigmatic because nobody's ever seen him in public. He doesn't come out in public, and in fact, some people claim that nobody's ever actually met him at all. But he has a lot of sway among the nobility, particularly the Knights of the Leopard Skin, which is the sort of chivalric order in the Leopard Isles. You should not think of them as being like highly organized or with a very rigid hierarchy. These are mostly knights errant, essentially. But there are several of them that have kind of gone over to his side and organized themselves a little more strictly as the Sons of the Sons of Midnight, and they're kind of currently controlling certain aspects of life in the city of the People of Fame and elsewhere in the Isles. There are also the partisans of King Onwae, who still live and operate in the city. The actual garrison that was most of them just defected when this new rebellion started, but the rest of them were kind of chased out. But there are still people in the Isles who ultimately believe Onwae is going to show up with a fleet. It's going to put the rebellion down, and they don't want to be on his bad side when he does that. And then there is the smallest and least significant faction, of which you all are members. And this is a ragtag band. You guys have typically called yourselves loyalists. And loyalists are a bunch of crazies. Basically, what loyalists believe is that the missing Prince Galal will return, bearing the Hur Orupaim, and he'll set the kingdom to rights, and everything will be okay. It's a crazy, silly thing to believe in this day and age, but there you have it. Now, the loyalists have a lot of following, have a pretty big following, for instance, in the Wakes Rambeau, which is kind of like the Red Isle, in the north of the sea, which is their main stronghold, like pretty much everybody there, which is a problem for the rest of the kingdom, by the way, because like it's basically like Gibraltar. Like it's an island primarily occupied and run by an incredibly well-trained, well-disciplined military order who are also, could just turn on King Onwae any moment because they don't recognize him as legitimate. In the Leopard Isles, there's also a lot of sympathy towards this faction, but not in any kind of an organized way. But the local leader of the Loyalist faction is a very strange man, not a local, although he does have family ties to the Leopard Isles, by the name of Tengelbur Silverhand. And Tengelbur Silverhand, if any of you guys watched the Prelude to Midnight War games that I did with the crew from the Symbolic World, you might have seen him or met him. But Tengelbur Silverhand he's basically the leader of the loyalist resistance here in the Leopard Isles. Recently, he has left the islands on a quest. You don't know exactly what that quest is because it's a little bit above your pay grade. However, you have been summoned to by one of your handlers, basically another loyalist under his purview, to basically to receive a message, to receive some orders from Tengelbur. So that's where we're going to start today. That's how you know each other. We'll say for ease of play that you guys know each other as from having worked as loyalist agents on other minor matters on Tengelbur's behalf. So yeah, that is how you all find yourselves in the Circus of the Damned. So the Circus of the Damned is a circus outside the city of Peloponnese. It is a pretty large circus / kind of a carnival that runs more or less year-round. And it is a hotbed of, well, let's just say it's the sort of place where like weird outsiders could go and not be noticed, and nobody would really ask too many questions if you're coming and going and so on. And so it's a good place if you're trying to run what is essentially a covert operation, right? It's a good place to recruit from. It's also just a good place to like pass messages and things like that. Fewer prying eyes there. And your contact at the Circus of the Damned is a guy by the name of Arpesh the Undying. Arpesh the Undying is an acrobat. He's actually sort of the lead acrobat of the circus. And he is a very well-muscled, very handsome man. And when you enter his tent, he is naked to the waist up. Every single one of his bulging muscles just like well oiled. You would guess by those, like the two serving girls who just left as you were coming in. And he stretches a little bit as you come in and he says, Arpesh the Undying welcomes you to the Circus of the Damned, my friends. It is Jethar, I believe. Yes.
Yes, yes.
You have an acrobat's build. Has anyone ever told you this?
Not quite, no. But where did you train to get all your muscles? They're pretty crazy.
Where did Arpesh train to get all his muscles? Well, Arpesh has traveled the world, from the far reaches of the barbarian south to across the eastern deserts where the dragons rule over the slave race of the Catholas. Arpesh has been a little bit of everywhere, and I think it's Relivar, yes?
Yes. Pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you as well, and who knows, it is something to meet you. Nobody ever knows. And Argar, it's good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome to the Circus of the Damned. Would you like something to drink? A little wine, perhaps? Oh, it's a little early in the day, so maybe you'd like a lot of wine, yes?
Yes. Lot is better than a little.
As Arpesh's father said, you cannot drink all day if you do not start in the morning.
A wise saying.
He claps twice, and one of the serving girls comes back in with a wineskin and begins pouring a very cheap but like heavily like overspiced wine to kind of offset the I mean, it's like almost vinegar. And but pours this out for each of you, and then stands there for a moment looking at Arpesh, and Arpesh raises a hand and she leaves. So, as you can imagine, first of all, it's bad manners to put wine in front of your guests and not to toast them. So, a best toast to your health, to your wealth, and confusion to your enemies. Yes.
Here, here.
Now, Apesh did not simply invite you here to shoot the breeze, so to speak. Word has come from the silver-handed one himself. There is a mission of gravest importance with which you have been entrusted, and with which Arpesh will need to ask for your help. So, I assume you have all heard of the storytellers.
Which ones?
The storytellers.
The storytellers. They're
Of course.
It seems like I have not heard of these storytellers.
The storytellers, they are, well, they are like you, but much better paid. The storytellers are the eyes and ears of the one who sits in Senkenkar and calls himself the king. And some would call them torturers or secret police, perhaps. They prefer the euphemism storyteller. Now, our silver-handed master has a bit of a history with the storytellers, in particular with the one who is called the Lady Thauthenai, who I believe recently ascended to the exalted position of chief storyteller. in Sinkankar. She's a very old enemy of our cause. And recently, so Arpesh has just learned, she kidnapped the wife of Tanarendel. Now, you've all heard of Tanarendel. Tanarendel is a companion of Tengelbur Silverhand, and also actually recently left the island with him. He's from the north. He's a Chaebori, one of the leaders of the loyalist faction there. She kidnapped the wife of this one Tanarendel. I believe her name is Telini. She's a redhead. Arbesh loves redheads, and other colors as well. She kidnapped this Telini and attempt to blackmail Tanarendel with a very specific threat. If you want to see his wife again, she says, he must come here to Lafi Clorpem and kill Mother Zishune, the abbess of the convent of the Ram of Dawn. Now, Tanarendel being a good man, he gets here and he says, oh, I cannot kill, Tanarendel cannot do it. He cannot kill the Mother Superior of the convent of the Ram of Dawn. So, Tengelbur Silverhand, he gives us a very particular instruction. We must find and rescue this Telini before she can be used as leverage against our friends. We must do this quickly and with stealth, caution, precision, and care. And it is for this that you, with your particular blend of talents, have been chosen. Arpesh is sure you have questions at this point.
I've actually heard that Silverhand is, no one kind of knows where he's at. Do you know where he's at?
Arpesh, of course, knows where is Silverhand. My question is, can you be trusted with such a secret?
I know a lot of secrets, so I would say yes.
Give me a persuasion roll.
All right.
Influence is what I meant to say.
Okay.
By the way, everyone, we're just rolling dice at home. We're all
Yeah.
here.
What
If
kind?
anybody is cheating on rolling, dice in a make-believe game, you need more help than I can give you. I don't know what to say. So yeah, everyone just roll your own dice.
Is it just D20s or what?
Great question. So this is a D100 system. So if you take a look at your character sheet, you'll notice you have skills, and those skills have a percentage value next to them. So you're going to roll a D100, and you're looking to hit your number or lower. So it's a roll under system. Doubles, like 11, 22, 33, 44, 40, 55, etc., are always crits. And so if you get doubles but it's under your target, then that's a critical success. If you get doubles over your target, that's a critical failure. 91 and above is always a failure. 100 is always a critical failure. So.
And you said influence or persuasion?
I don't think there's actually a persuasion skill in this, so we're going to say influence.
Oh yeah, influence. Okay.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 57, and I have 65.
Okay, so that is a success. Arpesh takes a moment, strokes his incredibly well-oiled beard, and says, Arpesh will confide in you. Because the task set before us is one of great danger. You know, of course, of the 5 regalia of the Emborian crown, yes? You give me a culture own roll. To see if you do.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I rolled a 7.
Okay, that's a success, I assume.
Yes.
So the 5 regalia of the Emborian crown are the 5 things that have to be present for a legitimate coronation. Basically, there's one that comes from each culture of the Ambori. So the Softbury is the Hurorupem, the living sword, the one that's missing right now. For the people of the north, the Chebori, it's a gem of amber called the Gem of Fanhal, which belonged to one of the kings of the first Aeon. For the folk of the Leopard Isle, it is a panther skin cloak known as the Cloak of Midnight. For the people of the Wakes Ranbo, the Red Isle, it's something called the Key of Ranhor, which was it's the key to the great gates of the island fortress, and it was forged by King Ranhor the Builder, who's the second king of the dynasty of Senkan. And then for the deep men, the Nyetbori, there is a crown. So those 5 items are the 5 regalia of the Amborian crown. And if you look at like the arms, like the coat of arms, for the line of Senkan, which will, by the way, it'll be in the end papers of the book when it comes out. I'm so excited. I'll share when we're done here, I'll share a picture of it with you guys because it's really awesome. But so those 5 things have to be present, and there is a sort of like an actual, like a coronation ceremony, like a king making liturgy in which the new king enters the gates of the holy city, and the 5 regalia are put on him, and so on. And so when Onwae was made king, he was just acclaimed king by the Council of the Oak, which is the ruling council of the holy city, but there was no they never did the liturgy because typically speaking, each item in the regalia is held by the culture that it belongs to until it's needed for a coronation, which is only usually about 150 years. And so the Adhur Orupem is missing, and they never brought the other items of the regalia there. This is why many people, not just locals, but like many people see Onwae as an illegitimate king because he never went through like you say, the necessary ceremonies to sort of be married to the people, right? And so yeah, so that's I mean, this is child's play. Every Emborian knows this stuff. Yeah.
So I'll be like, well, yes, of course I know of the crown.
Not just the crown, there are 5.
The 5, yes.
Of the royal regalia. Well, the Cloak of Midnight, which is the particular item which belongs to the people of this fair and pleasant isle, has been stolen, perhaps by the followers of this so-called Prince of Midnight, who want to get it for him to legitimize his claim to rule over these isles. And Tengelbur Silverhand and his companions have gone in search of the Cloak of Midnight, which they hope to retrieve. It is only this which prevents them from, a task of such importance, which prevents them from going to rescue Sir Tenerandel's Lady Love, which is why you and Arpesh have been assigned with this very delicate task. It is a matter of, let us say, secondary importance, but it is important nonetheless. Now, typically speaking, if I were to hunt down a master of spies, I would employ Arpesh's own agents. There are many circuses throughout the lands around the sea, and Arpesh has other friends as well who are more respectably dressed. But there is no time for such things, and so Arpesh must simply go on the most recent information which he has, which is to say that this Lady Thauthenai does not currently reside in the Holy City, but in fact has been seen in Ralakar, the capital of the northern province, which is currently ruled over by one Onorama the Bard, who, when Arpesh knew him, he was just just a petty warlord looking to make good. But now he rules the whole north. And what exactly it is that Lady Thauthenai wants to do there in the north, Arbesh can only speculate. But since that is where Telini was taken, I believe that is where our search should begin. So Arbesh, he has a cunning plan. And it should be an enjoyable time for everyone. We will have a pleasant sea voyage. We will have, well, he looks at you, who knows, kind of sizes you up. We will have perhaps a bit of exercise. And if everything goes well, we should be able to get a private audience with Lady Thauthenai. Now, once our pet gets you there, that's where you take over.
And taking over means we will be, we will have an audience, which means we will be known to her.
Taking over means you do whatever is necessary to recover the missing Lady Telini. And, well, should Lady Thauthenai undergo, let us say, a terrible accident of some sorts, I do not think Tengelbur would be displeased. My impression, given the language he uses whenever he speaks of her, is that he is not a huge fan.
So, obviously, we're going to, I mean, we're all here. We most likely are going to do this thing. But is there anything else in it for us?
Arbesh likes this one. Of course, all travel expenses have already been arranged. In addition to this, although Lord Tengelbur's resources are not exhaustive, he has appointed a reward of 500 silver stars. You would have to walk so many tightropes for this kind of money. For each of you, for the return of the Lady Telini.
Each of us.
That would have been my next question, but
Well,
that sounds great.
There you go.
do you have any more questions? Lord Tengelbur's personal ship, well, not his personal ship, because he is using that one, but one of his ships is waiting for us currently at the harbor to take you to the north. I should say, to take us to the north. Arbesh will come with you.
Is there anything else that we should prepare or know before we go?
Part
This
of
may-
Arbesh's cunning plan is to infiltrate the underworld of Ralakar through a dueling society. So it will be necessary for you, one of you, to fight perhaps a series of duels and to win them by whatever means necessary. So if you trust your luck and your skill, so much the better. If you feel like you might need a little help, it would be good for you to go into the bazaar and take care of that. The margin for errors when blades are drawn is very thin.
I have a feeling there will be some sneaking and subterfuge, perhaps. Do we know the standard operation? Do we know what it is like for these northerners to take prisoners? Do they have favored places to keep them? Down low, up high, dungeons, this sort of thing.
The city of Ralakar, until very recently, was ruled by a madman, a governor by the name of Neratsoan. I believe actually Well, let's say that the Lady Thauthenai had a long history with him before his untimely death, at which point she managed to mysteriously rise to the ranks. But he was a decadent man, and the city of Ralakar is still very much recovering from him. Onorama the Bald, on the other hand, is much more Spartan, and let us say much more ruthless, although he would not torture you with such exquisite delicacy the way the former governor would. But if you're asking where the Lady Thauthenai keeps her prisoners, that's a different question. And for this, we will have to rely on, well, on some unsavory characters who will be waiting to meet us when we get to Ralakar.
Jathar is gonna look at the two warrior-looking guys and just gonna say, so you two, you look like you have some experience with dueling. Am I on track?
Dueling is for fops.
So maybe more than dueling.
Or
I will leave it to you then. Very nice.
One-on-one should be simple when you are 1-on-100.
Not according to Andre the Giant, but anyway. All right. Do you guys have any more questions for Arpesh or any preparations you want to make? You have a ship waiting in the harbor to take you north whenever you're ready.
How long is the journey?
That is a good question. Because it's winter, it's a little slower than it would otherwise be. Now you are still sailing, which is so much faster, by the way, than walking in the ancient world. Like I thought, I was like, there's no way the math can be right. That's completely broken. But yeah, so because it's winter, things are a little slower right now. You're looking at about a week over up open water, and then about a week in coastal waters, and 2 days in coastal waters, and sailing upriver to Ralakar. So probably about 8 days total.
I would actually like to find if there is a library or bookseller that would have some books on the history of the North, and specifically political history and the shadier dealings of politics, even if they're kind of sensationalized and whatnot. Would I be able to find such things?
Yeah, give me a trade roll.
Okay. This is target 60. Oh, 73. That's a fail.
I'm sorry to say, you do come away with like 2 or 3 like tell-all biography kind of a things. Like they're, just like definitely promising more than they can fill in on, but nothing actually useful.
Gotcha.
All right. What are the rest of you doing prep-wise? You have some
Jathar's-
for equipment, and then also the ship is laid out with enough provisions for your voyage.
Yeah, okay. Jathar's gonna stand up and he's just gonna say, well, thank you so much for your hospitality and answering my questions. I am perfectly ready. I think that seems like you're ready for us, and I'm ready for this.
In that case, let us say at the 9th hour. Until then, I bid
In
you
the marketplace, I'm going to be looking for the strongest spice that I can find.
The strongest
Whatever it
spice
is.
that we can find. I mean, there's a lot of good options in the Leopard Isles. Yeah, that's no trouble at all. Give me a trade roll.
Yep, 12. So
Okay, great. yeah, you find actually are you looking for like hot spice or just like strong flavor? What do you like?
Either one. Both. Actually, I'd like to get two.
Okay.
One of them to put on whatever I don't want to eat, so I can tolerate it. Another one to use as a possible augment in combat. So.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. All right. 1 second here.
The old Scarlet Pimpernel trick of pepper in the snuff box.
That's right. No pepper in the snuff box trick. All right. So you have a couple of options here. As far as like food, spice to like there is like a spice blend that you can buy at most places. It's the stuff that's like on like most of the like the dock rats that people are selling as dormice, on the street corner and things like that. Like so there's like heavy spice blend. It's mostly salt and pepper, paprika, things like that. So that goes for 2 silver stars. And then if you want to get like something like toxically hot,
Yeah.
there are some ground peppers. They're being sold by a tall and enigmatic Cathorless trader. The Cathorless are the people who come from across the eastern desert. Their hair and beard are usually dyed a variety of strange colors. This seems to be indicative of some kind of a caste system, but nobody really knows because they don't talk basically about their culture at all. But they are famous traders and said to either worship or be enslaved to the great dragons of the Eastern Mountains, depending on who you ask. Now, the Cathorless, because they're such successful traders, they're like the Cathorless language and alphabet is sort of like the lingua franca of trade between other cultures. But in any case, you find a Cathorless trader who is there selling spices. And he has a particular spice that is plucked from a pepper that grows on the slopes of the southern mountains of Aran, which is so far away to the south you can't even really imagine it. And this stuff, when you tell him like what you're looking for, he looks at you very dubiously. And he says, I have something which might meet the purpose. And he brings out a very small wooden box, about the size of a snuff box. And when he opens it, as soon as he opens it, you start tearing up. It's not cheap. It's 150 silver stars. But it is toxic.
Okay.
Like, real spice burns twice, you know what I'm saying? Like this is caustic stuff.
and actually, it's 120 for how much actual substance? The box.
If you were throwing it in somebody's face, you'd get about 1 handful. If you're just using tiny pinches on your food, which is what it's designed for, it would probably go for, 50 meals. You got to think of like ground Carolina Reaper kind of
Right.
levels.
Well, I've only got 60 stars, so we might need to either buy less or collaborate if we think this is even a useful tool. So, what do you think, Jathar? Yeah.
Well, before we buy this spice, I know we have till the 9th hour, so I actually wanted to search for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
2 little bit different things.
Go for it.
So I'm going to search. I don't know if there's anything that is like explosive in this world at all.
I mean, there's always flasks of oil.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to find stuff to make like a Molotov cocktail. And then
And the Wixrambori make basically like napalm, like Greek fire.
okay. So I'd like to find that. And then I would like to find if there's any place that looks a little bit kind of out of the way and shadier than usual to find maybe something to slip into someone's drink or someone's food to make them go to sleep forever.
I mean, just going right there.
Just
This guy was like, I'll throw pepper in somebody's eye. I just want them to never wake up. All right, give me a trade roll.
Okay.
Trade roll for the first one, thievery for the second.
All right, cool. So I got a 41, which is a failure because that's 35.
All right. So I mean, you can always buy an oil flask. As far as like actual napalm, you're not like you walk up to like a couple of people who seem like they might have access sort of thing, and they look you up and down and like, we're not dealing to this guy.
Okay. All right. And then my thievery roll also failed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. You assume that there would be, now you can, by the way, you do have you all have 3 fate points. You can use them for various in-game effects. The most common one, of course, is just like to re-roll a roll and take whatever the new result is. So if you want to spend a fate point on this, I mean, typically I say like maybe don't spend it on a shopping roll, but you get 3 and you get them back at a rate of 1 per adventure. But you guys are only playing 1 adventure tonight, so like if it's a big deal to you to have the poison, maybe you want to go ahead and go for it.
I don't have good thieving. I'm not a thief.
Yeah, fair enough. You sort of have no idea. Like again, you walk into a couple of places, like apothecary stores and things like this, and you're like, you have no subtlety about it. You're like, you walk in and you're like, hey, so like if I wanted to poison somebody, what would I need? And yeah. And people just kind of like give you a look and then, usually call the big burly guy in the back who comes out to send you on your way.
Okay. If that actually does happen, could I do something like perception or influence to discuss with this shady character if I found them?
What do you want to say? All right, so yeah, there's a kind of a middle-aged woman with like you know incredibly like leathery skin, like sunburnt, way too much time in the sun throughout her life. And then she's wearing like heavily applied makeup, especially around her eyes, that just, trying to sort of like conceal the age and like the lines of the cracking in her skin, and it's not really working. Like she looks a little ghoulish actually.
Okay.
And she does have an apothecary shop there. It's not actually towards the edge of the bazaar, it's like sort of towards the middle, but it's kind of like a small little shack between 2 much larger taverna, and that sort of form a bit of an alleyway.
Okay. All right.
And
I was getting...
as soon as you're like, do you have something I could use to put somebody to sleep forever? She sighs a little bit and she says, Admiral. And you see a huge like kind of meat, a really thick set meathead, shaved skull, kind of a bouncer type, kind of comes out of the back.
Okay. I was just gonna back up really quick, put his hands up, and he's just gonna say, I'm not saying that you do anything nefarious or wrong in this town or anything like that. I'm just saying that my grandmother, very dear to my heart. I loved her.
Where's this going?
I loved her so much. And so question for you, what would be a kind of a bad force around here? I'll just go with bandits. That's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, pirates.
Yeah,
Pirates.
okay, pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates came and they just and he's just gonna look down to the side and he's just gonna say they they took all of her belongings. They took my mother, which is her daughter, obviously. They took her and and I just I need I need to save her, and I need to get all of, my grandmother's stuff back from the pirates. And so I need help with that. I'm very good at, I can be, inconspicuous about things.
Oh yes, you obviously have a talent for being.
Yeah, obviously. But just a little drop of something to, put them to sleep.
Give me a deception roll.
Okay. Oh man, I failed. Yeah.
Um, she looks at you so dubiously as the bouncer. You feel his hand, this giant meaty hand, like clamp down on your collarbone, and you find yourself ejected back out in the middle of the bazaar a moment later.
All right. Did Hunos come with me?
Sure, if he
Sure.
wants.
Yeah.
Okay. Jathar's just gonna look up at Hunos from the ground. Be like, your spice idea might be better.
It might not kill them for life.
Depends on how much you use.
Short term. Yeah.
I still, my idea, because we can get some oil, then we can get the spice. I feel like we could do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe setting the place on fire might draw attention to ourselves.
Well,
Well, actually, mixing the spice with oil would be pretty potent,
yeah.
and it could get on stuff and
Make like a
cause
pepper
problems.
spray out of it.
Yeah.
So, like for example, if you had a disposable glove that you coated with it, and you shook someone's hand before engaging them, then if they touched anything, it could be
Yeah.
trouble. I don't know.
Maybe.
But somebody would have to make them cry so they'd wipe their eyes, right? So someone's got to tell a good story.
So many steps necessary for this plan to go up. All right, so are you guys buying the spice?
How much do you need? I can
I-
contribute maybe 30 silver stars.
I already slipped him the 90 silver he was short.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well,
I sent him a DM.
so somebody's loaded there.
Okay. But I think somebody else in the group should haggle, and I'm probably the worst. These folks like to trade and barter, so somebody else want to attempt it.
In spite of my failure, I am okay.
Would bartering be trade or would it be influence?
It's trade.
Trade, okay. I am probably not the best as what we saw just, a second ago, so
Let me see what I've got. Yeah, I've got up 30. Maybe I'll give it my best.
All right, give me what you got.
Try to knock him down. 82. Nope.
All right, now you just have to take it in the teeth.
Okay.
All right. So you come back, and the spice merchant looks at you very dubiously, pulls out the box again, and you make a weak attempt at haggling, and he just stares you down like, listen, if you can't pay full price for this, you probably can't handle it. Like, if you know, it's like one of those, like, it's like a watch where if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. Like,
Right.
it's the same kind of a thing,
And
right?
my bride's like, okay,
Yeah.
since I know all about this kind of thing, of course I'll pay full price. Yes.
Obviously. Yeah. It's definitely worth it. In fact, you were ripping him off. All right. So with your preparations made, unless there's anything
I just want to buy the oil. That's it. But
yeah, you can buy a flask of oil. Flask of oil is derp. 1 silver star.
oh, okay.
Yeah, oil's very cheap. Yeah, so you can, and it comes in like a little clay amphora.
Okay.
Yeah, so you with your supplies and provisions bought, you meet down at the 9th hour where you see a beautiful small sloop floating there at the dockside. This is one of Tengelbur Silverhand's ships. It is called the Venture Capitalism 4, implying, by the way, that there have been 3 previous venture capitalisms, which is actually, there have been, and they've all been destroyed disastrously.
Oh, man.
So it's fine. Anyway, yeah, so there is a small crew, a captain, and our Pesh on board waiting for you. And yeah, without further ado, you guys set sail. Now we're gonna have to do quite a few travel rolls, and I'm gonna crave everybody's indulgence here. This is a pretty important part of the setting. Traveling over long distances, especially in the winter, is dangerous. And especially in the winter, you don't just have the normal things to deal with, like weather and pirates and so on, but in the lands around the sea, there are also what are called poisoned tides. And poisoned tides are times when the corruption of the Black Hills kind of stretches out like a long finger and corrupts certain parts of the sea. And they're worse in winter, and then they recede, throughout spring and summer. And so that's one of the main dangers, and that's basically why overland travel still exists. Like there are still overland caravans because, even though Amborians are all sort of naturally good sailors, sailing is not without its hazards, especially in the winter. So you guys are, let's see here. Take a look at the old hex map here. So you guys are traveling not quite as far as I thought you were actually. 1, 2. So 28. All right, so it's actually just 4 days at open sea, which is pretty good. So I need everyone to go ahead and just give me your first travel roll. So for this, you can roll either survival or sailing, since you're on water. Sailing is really the appropriate skill, but like I said, usually I like to give people, depending on what they're trying to do, I usually like to give people a couple of options. So yeah, survival or sailing. We're going to have to make 4 of these tests across the open sea. So let's go and do the first one. Everybody, just let me know success or failure. And obviously, like if you got a critical success or a critical failure, I need to know that as well.
Succeeded.
All right.
Failed.
What was that, Bert?
Failed.
Failed?
92.
That's failure. Argar,
1.
that's a
So success.
We got 2 failures. All right. All right. So basically, there is a mishap table, and the mishap, or like a hazard table, and then the the hazard table changes based on how many failures you have. So the chance of having a random encounter at sea goes up by 10% with each one of you that fails, basically. All right, so boy, that's really not good.
Of course it's not.
Yeah, that's why we roll this. Well, it's important. Like, I didn't want to just hand wave the travel, first of all, because I hate it when people do that. But secondly, because there is, a lot of the things that the different groups are doing are all time sensitive. That's why, like, we started this adventure on a particular date, and so I need to keep track of like how long it takes you guys to sail. So you guys get stuck. Actually, remember I mentioned the poison tides. Oh boy.
Of course,
So,
because you mentioned it.
as I mentioned it. Oh boy. So on the very first day of travel, as you sail north, sometime in the night, after you lose sight of the Leopard Isles, you all kind of wake up as you realize the ship has stopped moving. Not only that, but the air is still and heavy, despite the fact that it's winter. There's a sort of a staleness and even kind of a humidity to the air that wasn't there before. When you come up on deck, you can just barely see by the lanterns that are hung over the prow of the Venture Capitalism 4 a mass of seaweed that has become like the Sargasso Sea, which is like completely ensnared the ship. These tendrils, these tides stretch out like foul tendrils from the harbor of the Black Hills. They're more prevalent during the winter, as I mentioned. And basically, yeah, you're trapped. There's no wind. You are trapped in a thick mass of foul-smelling weeds growing up from the bottom of the sea, which prevents you from rowing out of it. And you're stuck here for 5 days. And during this time, I need you guys to make a willpower test. So instead of having you roll a willpower test each day, we're just going to have everybody do. Actually, no, let's just do it straight. So I'm going to need everyone to give me 5 willpower tests. So just like the travel test, I just need everyone to go and do the first round. As basically, the whole first day, you're there in on the ship, and you're stuck, and the ship's not moving. You make efforts to like cut away at the weeds, and you make efforts to try to row through it. But as day 1 passes and night falls again, you have no way, as far as you can tell, you've made no perceptible movement forward. So I just need everybody to go ahead and give me a willpower test.
I'll start. I got a 99.
Holy crap, dude.
Oh.
93.
What is going on?
Oh my gosh, I got a
What's going on?
98.
What'd you get, Argar?
I got a 98.
I succeeded.
1, 2, 3. All right, so you oh boy.
Critical failure. A
Critical failure scout for
99.
2, so that's the equivalent of 4 failures.
Hey guys, we're gonna die.
The lady's never gonna get rescued.
At least we got to see the seaweed.
I dropped my D10. Okay. All right, so here we go. Well. Oh boy. Give me a second because yeah, things are about to get busy. So as the poison tide holds the ship locked in place, you all try to get some sleep the following night, and you're lying there in your hammocks down in the hold of the Venture Capitalism 4, and the air is stale. You have enough provisions for, about like 2 weeks of sailing, so There's not a huge danger at this point of food and water running out. But it's more just the heavy oppression. I mean, the poison tides are not just they're not just like a feature of the sea. Like this is a tangible experience of the corruption of Orcon, like the corruption of the taint of evil in the world. And so the experience of being stuck in one is incredibly demoralizing. As you're all kind of laying there, trying your best to get to sleep, mumbling whatever prayers you can remember, you suddenly hear a scream coming from up on deck. What are you guys doing?
Oh, did you want us to roll again for the willpower again, or
Can I?
No. We're still dealing with the
Okay,
results
okay,
of that
all right.
last round
Yeah.
of willpower roll.
I'll check to see if it was myself. Was it myself?
It was not, as far as
Okay.
I know.
I'm gonna head toward the sound.
All right.
Yeah, Jathar will as well, but kind of like shadows in the shadows, like
So you guys run up onto the. I mean, there's not a lot. Like, there's like a tiny narrow stairway. You can only come up
Okay.
one at a time to get up on
I'll
deck.
hide behind Agar.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You run up onto deck, and you see one of the sailors lying on the deck, screaming. Hovering over him, there is this kind of ghostly apparition, semi-translucent, shining with this unholy light that looks basically just like a cloud of mist with a face. And there is a long tendril of mist that shot out from the cloud and is locked over the sailor's heart. And you see as the sailor screams, eventually his screams become muffled as his mouth and nose completely disappear. And as he's lying there, you see eventually, like, as you come out before you're able to take any kind of an action at all, you see his face is just gone. And there's nothing but just like a long flap of skin where his face had been before. But the wraith hovering over him has now taken his face, and the scream is continuing, but the scream is no longer coming from the sailor on the deck who is rapidly suffocating, but rather from the mouth of the wraith. There are 3 of these mist wraiths hovering around the deck of the ship, and as you rush out onto the deck, they attack. So I need you guys to just go ahead and let's roll some initiative. So the way initiative works in this game is that it's a d6 plus your deftness. And initiative basically reserves a slot for your side. But then within those slots that you reserve, you can go in any order. So who here got above a 19?
I got 19 exactly.
Yeah, I did as well.
Okay.
It's your D6 plus your deft. I got
D6 plus
12.
your deftness. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a 12.
I have 15.
All right, so the order is the monsters go, and then all of you go in any order. Nice and simple. All right, and that'll repeat each round. But you guys don't have to go in the same order each round. So sometimes if you have like an effect that's dependent, like for instance, the Star Singer, Burke,
Yep.
a lot of your abilities are basically buffs. So if you go before the rest of your companions go, then you can buff up some of the things that they're doing. All right. So, oh boy. All right, the first Wraith is going to go ahead and attack you, Argar. Sitting there looking all stoic and such. All right, so the way that combat works in the Clash system, which is the system this game and Jackals also use, is that you have a certain number of Clash points. Usually it's around 3 or 4. And you can use your Clash points to react to things. So one of the things you can do is when you're being attacked passively, like if you're just like sitting there passively about to take an attack, you can actually say, no, I want to clash and try to counterattack. And if your roll beats my roll, then you get to attack instead of me on my turn. And so this actually makes combat go pretty fast because usually people just choose to counterattack, but you can also choose to dodge. So if you're thinking my melee combat is not so good, but my dodge is pretty high, and obviously you can't use melee combat to block arrows unless you have a shield. So, but basically you can choose to either counterattack or try to avoid the attack in some way. So one of these things is headed straight for you, Argar. Would you like to clash?
Yes, I would. I have a spear. I don't know if it will do anything against a creature that is not flesh and blood, but I will at least try to intercept it before it enters into my reach, since I do have a spear. So yes.
One way to find out. So the way this is going to work is we're both going to roll a d100.
Okay.
You're going to spend one clash point, roll a d100, and whoever has the highest under their target wins. If you get a crit, you do max damage. If you get a critical failure, then I do max damage. Make sense?
Yep.
All right. So go ahead and tell me what you get.
I rolled a 37 and my skill is 70.
All right. So that beats my 13. So even though I succeeded and you succeeded, your success is better than mine because it's higher. So you can go ahead and give me some damage.
Okay. Let's see. Weapon damage is 1d10, and then I have a 1d8 damage bonus. So
Why? Who made that character?
You did, sir.
All right.
It's only I rolled like crap though, so it's only going to be 5.
All right. So it's 5 damage. This thing is insubstantial. So your 5 damage doesn't do nearly as much as you would hope that it would. But you didn't get hit, so. All right. The next Mist Wraith is going to attack Relivar. Relivar, would you like to clash?
Yeah, I will try to counterattack. Target 60 got a 71.
Well, I got an 85, so nobody hits. All right, fine. Moving on to the third Mist Wraith. This one's going to ignore Hunos because he looks like he's going to be a problem for me. So he's going to go for Jathar. Jathar, he's coming for your face.
Yeah.
You want to clash. You can try to counterattack. You can also try to dodge.
I'll dodge.
All right.
Yeah, I failed miserably.
Awesome. Well, good news is that I did not. So, you see a blade, like a long spear, almost in imitation of Argar's spear, shoot out from one of the Mist Wraiths and pierce through you. It's going to do. It's going to do 9 points of damage. Because of the immaterial nature of the weapon, it ignores protection. So it is so it's not reduced by your armor. So you just take 9 points of damage, goes to your valor first, and because of what he rolled on his attack, he actually gets a second attack now. You could also clash against this one if you would like.
Yeah, I'll try to dodge it again.
Don't feel like you have to, though. You can just stand there and take it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather try to dodge.
All right, what you got?
I failed again.
All right, well, I got a 34, which will succeed. He stabs you again for 14 points of damage.
Okay.
Straight through your armor, right to your valor. You all watch as Jathar, who is, let's be honest, the smallest member of your crew, just gets shish kebabbed by this this spear of mist that just shoots through his heart. All right. It's all of y'all's turn in any order.
I think I will go ahead and begin, and I'm gonna boon. Nobody here has ranged attacks, do they?
I do, but it's only a D6, so
Okay.
I have
Gotcha.
a sling. but
Well,
I'm already engaged.
yeah. So I'm sort of engaged with a wraith. Is there anything?
You can still do your right.
Yeah. Is there anything problematic about moving away from the wraith?
So basically, he can spend a clash point to try to attack you.
Gotcha. Okay. Who's within 5 yards of me? Is that anybody?
Everybody in the boat. I mean,
Okay.
boat is not, you know,
I'm gonna give
you're all on the deck here, so yeah, pretty much everyone on the boat.
I'm gonna give Jathar a boon, so you get a positive trait. That's a particular skill, or I give him oh, that's a trait.
So it like gives him a trait for a thing.
Gotcha.
So basically, for Jathar's next roll, he can roll the ones die twice and take a better result. So it basically increases your chance of getting a crit or avoiding a critical failure.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you can do a right, and you can still attack as well.
Okay.
Because rights are basically all rights are always considered minor actions, so you can always cast a spell and then attack.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So I will sing a song and invoke a boon.
All right.
Target 51 and 48. That succeeds.
All right. And don't forget there's a devotion point cost and a clash point cost. So check those off.
Done.
All right. And do you have an attack you want to make?
I will try to attack. And that's 17, so I'm good.
All right, he's going to clash with you. I got a 13, so your 17 beats my 13, and you hit. So give me some damage.
Okey-doke. That is a mere 1d6, and that's 2.
All right. Doesn't actually do anything. Just
Gotcha.
Insubstantial nature, like it's not over the threshold to even affect it.
Okay.
All right. So that was Relivar. Who's next?
I'll engage the one attacking Jathar.
All right. Who knows? And the good news is he just oh no, he didn't actually do it. All right, he's gonna clash with you. Uh-huh.
Okay. I rolled an 18 for melee.
All right, you got an 18. All right, that'll hit, I assume. So give me some damage. Now you can spend, so your clash points come back at the start of your turn. So whenever it's your turn again, your clash points go back to full every time. You can spend 2 clash points to add an extra d6 to your damage. I would recommend that as a tactic in this particular battle, because these things are, while they don't have a terrible like number of hit points, they are insubstantial and therefore just like harder to deal damage to.
Okay, so I have my longsword already does 2d8, and I normally have a 1d6 damage bonus. So would clash points add an additional d6?
They would.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that.
Just a giant handful of damage dice there.
You got 21 points damage.
Oh. Okay. Cool. All right. You take your, I assume you have a red fang longsword.
That's right. Yeah.
So you take your red fang longsword and just like cut several broad swaths through this thing, just up and down, left and right. You see ribbons of mist kind of trailing out of it after your blade and just kind of dissipating in the night. And although it's difficult to assess damage that done to like an incorporeal cloud of mist, this thing is like way less than half the size it was when you attacked it. You get the sense it would not be able to survive another hit like that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. That leaves Argar and Jathar.
Jathar will kind of, just got stabbed by this ethereal spear of Argar's. And he's just gonna kind of run and scramble away from everything. Maybe if there's like, is this ship kind of like 2 stories ish? Is there like kind of a?
No, it's a fairly small trading sloop, so it's
okay. Right.
I mean, there's like a very small poop deck in the back. Yeah.
Okay, I'll kind of try to scramble on that.
Okay.
And then use a throwing dagger at the one
so in this case, there's nothing stopping you from moving because I would basically instead of an attack of opportunity, I have to spend clash points. These guys only have one each. So,
Okay.
and I already used it to try to stop Hudos and
Okay.
failed. So I'm out of clash points. You can just move, take your free movement, climb up to
Okay.
the top of the poop deck, throw your dagger.
Okay, I'll throw the dagger at the one that Hunos just was
Got it.
attacking. So I'll do the ranged combat roll. What does the boon do that Relivar gave me?
You're going to get to re-roll the ones die and take the better result.
Okay.
So if a D100
okay.
D10, two D10s, one is a
Yep,
is
yep, yep.
and the other is a 1. You're going to re-roll the ones die twice and take a better result.
Okay. That worked perfectly. So a 57. So then I guess I'll just roll a d6. So I just do 6 points of damage to.
So did you, first of all, did you hit?
I did, yeah. I
Okay.
used the switcheroo that Relivar gave
Got it,
me,
got it.
and
All
then
right.
I hit.
Awesome. So that's enough to finish that one off. So as you kind of like backpedal out of the way, scramble up to the top of the poop deck, draw one of your throwing daggers, it whips through the night and carves just a long streak, like a comet, right through the cloud of mist, thuds, blade first into the deck, and the mist wraith behind it just dissipates.
Nice.
All right.
All right, I'm going to attack the one that I'm engaged with, and I will spend the 2 clash points in order to do extra damage.
All right. So first of all,
But-
he's flash
yeah.
with you. So what do you roll to hit?
Yeah, I'm going to actually miss.
Well, that's a fun, interesting choice that you made.
Yep.
He's gonna hit you just barely, but he hits you. Oh, so this is fun. So he's gonna get 3 attacks against you. You get to clash with each of these. All right, well, no, it's on his. Sorry, it's not on his turn. So all the really fun shenanigans don't happen. But he just deals you 2d8 damage. So
Okay.
have 10 damage.
All right.
Ignores protection.
All right.
All right. Yeah, you thrust your spear at this thing, and the mist creeps forward down the shaft of your spear around your arm. You feel a cold, bone-chilling something, just like energy, kind of pulls through your arm. All right, so that was all of you, which means it's now the remaining 2 mist wraiths' turns. So we're going to start with the one attacking you, Urgar. Would you like to clash?
Yes, I have a clash point left, so I'll spend it.
Yeah, well, you didn't spend any because the ones you spend for extra damage, you spend.
Oh, okay. Well, then I still have. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
so you
then.
should be at full now.
Oh, gotcha.
All right.
Oh, right. It resets every turn.
That's right.
All right. Oh, right. I need to roll.
You do.
57, which is a success, but not by much.
Well, that beats my 19. So how much damage you got?
Let me roll.
And unfortunately, you can't spend clash points to increase your
Gotcha.
damage on your opponent's turn.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yep.
6.
Ooh, just chipping away here.
Yeah.
Chipping away.
My damage dice are not high.
Yep. All right, that was Miss Wraith. All right, so the other one is I think this is the one attacking Raylavar. Raylavar, would you like to clash?
I'm gonna clash and dodge.
Hmm. Yeah, you got whomped on a little bit last round.
Oops. I don't think that's it.
All right, well,
No, 53. Sorry, that is just under.
Okay, well, then you dodge.
Mhm.
The other Mist Wraith shoots down towards you. You kind of duck and roll out of the way across the deck. It is now all of your turn in any order.
So I use my throwing dagger.
Hmm?
Do I have more than one, or do I just have one?
My assumption would be that you would have 3.
Okay, all right, cool.
So we'll go with that for tonight.
Okay, sounds good. Then I will just kind of perched up on the deck, definitely not going down. I'll just look that Relevar just dodged out of the way of the mist wraith that attacked him, and I'll chuck one of my daggers right at that mist wraith.
All right, give me your attack roll.
Yep, which failed.
Okay. All right, who's next?
Okay, I'll press the attack on the same one.
Oh, that one's dead now.
It's dead.
Yeah, because you mostly killed it, and then Jathar finished it off with the throwing
Okay.
dagger. So you can now turn around and attack one of the others.
Cool. All right, then I'll go for the one attacking Argar.
All right. You
And
see
then I
Argar
have-
standing there with his spear in hand, trying to like fend this thing off as it's just this amorphous cloud of mist that's moving towards him.
Yeah, I rolled a 32.
All right, I'm gonna clash with you. I got a 35. Eat it. So you're gonna take 8 points of damage to your Valor.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
I will go next.
All right, Argar.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can actually hit it for a decent amount of damage once. All
So
right.
unfortunately, I just used my clash point to fight Who knows, which means I don't have one for you now. There are monsters that have more than one clash point, but these
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I rolled a 0-9. So,
data hits.
and damage is going to be,
And don't forget, you can now spend your 2 clash points
yes,
for an extra d6 if you want to.
I'm going to do that. That gives me 13.
13. That's a little more respectable. All right. This one has evidently taken a lot of damage, and it's still kind of whipping around, but its form is just growing more and more, less and less substantial. All right, Relevar, I think you're the only one who hasn't gone this round.
That's right. So I will try to slash, and it's 2 clash points to add a d6 to damage if I hit.
That's right. But
Okay.
you can roll to see if you hit first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Target 60, 26. So hit. And I will use those 2 clash points for 6 damage.
All right. Okay. All right, again, doesn't feel like it does nearly as much damage as it should just because of its non-substantial form. All right, it's the top of the round. The mist wraiths go first. The one attacking you, Argar, is going to try to finish the job.
All right.
Do you want to clash? Or are you gonna...
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right, what you got?
One moment, please. I have a 19.
All right, so I got a 53, which under my 60. And the really fun thing is, remember those cool shenanigans a minute ago that I didn't get to do? Now I get
Now
to.
you get to do them.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have ever looked at the stat blocks on the monsters for Emboria, but basically the monsters have an attack range. So it's like if I roll a 1 to 10%, they do this. If I roll an 11 to 40%, they do this. 41 to 60%, they do this. And obviously the higher ones are better. And which is like, it's just a fun kind of a thing. Part of the thing that John Matthew was thinking about when he designed this game, and that was also important to me, is that as a game master, I like to also have fun with the monsters. Like I want the monsters to also have some cool things. So these are called the attack chains. And in this particular case, he gets 3 on because he rolled a 53. So you're gonna have 3 attacks coming your way. The first one's already hit Argar, but you will get a chance to clash with the next 2. And basically the way that multiple attacks work for monsters is that they chain together. So if I hit you with the first one and then I roll the second one and the second one misses, I don't get the third one.
Well, I have 4 clash points, so I believe I have 1 left because I spent 1 on my attack, and then I just spent 1, so I have 2 left actually.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So you got 2 more attacks coming after this, but first of all, you take 8 damage.
Okay.
And there's a really fun thing that happens, but you haven't taken quite enough damage for it yet. So second attack is coming your way. So I have to roll for the second attack again. So it doesn't just auto hit, but basically that first hit set off a chain. So here's the next one. Are you
All right.
clashing with it?
I am, yes.
All right, what you got?
I have a complete failure at 95. Actually, a critical failure.
Is it a crit? What you got a 99?
95. I thought. Oh, is it?
95 is not a critical failure.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just a
okay.
normal failure. Yeah, like
I thought you said 93 or
91
higher.
above always fails, but
Oh, always fails. Gotcha. Okay.
but
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
what I
double.
missed.
So like a 99 or 100.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that would be a crit. All right, so he hits you a second time, so you're gonna take another 9 damage. And then here's the really fun thing that happens. You all watch as this long chain of mist, like the one that had been in the sailor when you first stepped on deck, shoots out and strikes Argar on the heart. And as it does so, you see Argar's facial features slowly start to sort of melt away, and a face, much like Argar's, starts to appear in the mist. He gets a third attack coming towards you, Argar.
I will try to prevent it.
All right. What'd you get?
I have 52 this time.
Well, that would normally beat me. However, I got a 22, which is a critical hit. So critical hit means a couple of things. First of all, it means that my crit beats your non-crit.
Yeah.
Second thing it means is that you take max damage, which in this case is 16.
Okay. So that drops me. Okay, that kills my valor right there, that one. And then I had 3. And how much was it? 16, you said?
Yep.
16. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoop.
And how many wounds do you have per row?
I'm at I had 5. So I'm at I have 2 boxes left. Yeah.
Yeah. Your face is almost gone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's the other guy's turn now. He's gonna attack you, Relivar. Sorry. Do you want to clash?
Yeah, I will try to dodge.
All right. Give me a dodge roll.
Okay.
We may
28,
never make
succeed.
it to our destination tonight. I'm just gonna say if we don't and you guys can play next Wednesday, we'll just pick it up again. But I would like to get through the adventure. So all right, you got a 16?
28.
28 beats my 8. So you dodge successfully out of the way. If that had been a counterattack, you'd have done some damage. But
yeah.
Now it's all of y'all's turn in any order.
I'd like to go before I die.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. I have a
Clash with you.
58. I have a 58.
58, is that a success for you?
Yes, it is. My skill is 70.
All right, that'll beat my 27. Which would
Okay, now it's the start of my turn, so that my class points have reset. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right, I desperately need to spend the 2 to finish this thing as quickly as possible before I'm dead. And hey, look at that. I didn't roll crap. 16 damage.
Holy crap, that thing is definitely dead. So as this chain is sort of like leeching your memories, your personhood, your very essence from yourself, you summon some bit of courage, like down to almost like base animal instincts, and taking your spear, you just step forward, thrust it right into the middle of the mist cloud, and with the howl of pain and rage and a voice that sounds a little bit like your own, the cloud dissipates. And you reach up and you touch your face and your eyes and your nose and everything. It's right where it's supposed to be. All right. There's just one Mist Wraith remaining. Who's up?
I'll try to hit it. Since we've been dancing back and forth.
All right, he's gonna clash with you.
14.
I got a 30.
Oof.
So, he hits you for 13 damage.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Alright.
quick question. I know you're trying to roll. Are you still trying to roll under your melee combat
Yep.
skill? But the higher roll wins.
Yeah,
No,
it's
the
like it's
higher
very
successful
Pendragon-esque.
roll wins. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this is based on Open Quest, which is based on Rune Quest, which is the same thing that Pendragon is actually running on. So yes,
Correct. Yeah, it only uses a D20 instead of a D100.
exactly. Yeah, actually, John, Matthew, and I are talking about doing a D20 version of Clash just for like the heck of it, because some people are like, their D20 is their security blanket. If you take that away from them, they just
Yeah,
throw
I
it out
know.
of the game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But
Yeah.
it's yeah, you're right. It's very, very Pendragon-esque. I'm a huge fan of RuneQuest and Pendragon and those games. Like that's a big part of my inspiration as a gamer. So yeah, so it's the highest successful roll wins. So all right, so I think Jathar and Hunos, you guys are up.
Okay, I'm gonna see, gonna look around and see is what's his name? Big burly guy.
Oh.
Starts with an A.
You're
What's his name?
talking about the well-oiled
Alpesh?
Yes.
Arpesh the Undying.
Arpesh. Yeah. I'm just gonna look around.
He is
What
not.
is he's not?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Why would he be?
I will just take out my last dagger
Mhm.
and just chuck it again at the very last Mist Wraith.
All right.
Um,
He's already used his clash point, so just go ahead.
Okay. Just roll damage, or do I still
No,
have
you
to
gotta roll the hit
succeed? Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay. I definitely hit.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna actually use 3 of my clash points to add 3d6. Is that
No. You
just
you
one?
2 clash points to add
Okay.
1d6, and that's all you can do.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'll definitely do that. So I'll roll 2d6s.
I like how he's like very confidently looking up a new mechanic.
Yeah.
Notice.
It still only does 6 damage.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. You're chipping away here, but that Mist Wraith is still looking strong. Who knows?
I'll wait in with my spirit flies water.
All right. Spirit flies water. Let's go.
So I rolled a 15.
That'll hit because I don't have anything to do to stop it. So
Okay.
give me some
So
damage.
I'll basically use 2 clash points for an extra d6, giving me 11 hits, 11 hit point damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is in rough shape, but it is still up and it is still hungry for Rillavar's face. So, top of the round, we're gonna try to eat some face.
Yep.
Would you like to clash?
This time, yeah, I am going to try to counterattack. And this costs 1 point.
1 point.
Okay.
Woo.
Having trouble reading my own dice. 61. Oh, target of 60. I failed.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. All right, well, I got a 41, which is a pretty good face eating roll. So the first one deals 2d8 damage for a total of 9.
Okay.
How are you at health wise?
I'm at 11 Valor.
Holy crap. Okay, well, second attack is coming your way. That's with the 9 damage I just dealt you?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first, yeah, we counterattacked and missed. And then this last one hit me for a lot, brought me down to 20. This brings me down to 11.
All right. Second attack is coming your way. Would you like to clash?
Sure, yeah. That is a 41. That hits.
But my 58 will beat it.
Okay, never mind.
So you're going to take another 11 damage.
Well, that brings me to 0 exactly.
Put you into 2 wounds. And there is a third attack.
Okay. I will once again try to counter it. Nope.
Poker face, by the way.
Here goes my face.
Well, I critically hit you with another 22. So you're gonna take 16 points of damage.
That is many. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that puts me over the death threshold by 3.
Awesome. So, first of all, your face is mine.
Yep.
Secondly, we can do a couple of things here. One is that you can spend a fate point to avoid death. And basically, you will be unconscious with 1 wound remaining.
Yeah. I think I will spend the fate point.
Okay. Well, then I don't quite have your face, but there's not a lot of it left.
Yep.
Yeah, this Mist Wraith is just hovering over the now unconscious body of Relivar. The mist chain just like streaking upwards towards it as its form is growing larger and more powerful, and you see its face, you see Relivar's face now jaw open in a rictus smile. It's all of your turn except for Relivar, who's unconscious in any order. In any order.
Well, Jathar is going to try and go. He's gonna run as fast as he can because he's scared out of his mind of what's going on right now because people's faces are getting stolen.
Pretty terrible.
And go and see if he can find Arpesh.
Okay. Arpesh is in the cabin, cowering in fear.
Okay, and Jathar's just gonna come right up to him in kind of a frantic state and just be like, Arpesh, what are those muscles for?
Arpesh is acrobat. Arpesh is not wanting this. This is the money.
No,
I'm not
you
going to
are
this.
needing to be
Jesus, my
our
name is
meat shield.
Undying.
Get over there and help us fight and save the ship.
Help you fight. That's a good idea. I will find the weapon. You go out and hold him
No,
off.
you're going first.
Arpesh is not going out there, guys. He's just
No way. Well,
Pesh isn't on deck because he's undying.
So-
exactly. Listen, you don't stay undying by going eating monsters. Like, it's a good way to lose your title. All right, so while Jathar is trying to scold Arpesh into courage, what are the rest of you?
well, the sensible thing for me to do would be to switch to my sling, but I'm not going to do the sensible thing because I am angry at this thing and I want it dead and I want my friend not to die because I barely survived myself. So I'm going to attack it.
All right, it's gonna clash with you.
All right. I have rolled a 36.
Do you have a trait that applies to your weapon by any chance?
Where would I find that? Oh, traits right here. Phalanx spider, melee combat for spear and shield.
So roll the D10, the 1 die again, and if it's better, you can take the better result.
Okay.
I'm asking because I beat you by 1.
Okay. Alas, it was a 34.
All right.
So I still didn't. Yep.
Unless you want to spend a fate point, it's gonna hit you.
Yeah, I'll spend a fate point.
All right, so go and re-roll your attack.
All right.
And don't forget you have that trait. You can use that anytime you're fighting with a spear and shield.
Okay. I wish, yeah. Good to know when it's close margins. Okay, this time I have a 47.
That'll beat my 37.
Okay. And I will spend the 2 points in order to hopefully finish this thing off. And I have done 13 damage.
That'll be enough. So Argar, your spear almost burns in your hands with fury as you charge the remaining Mist Wraith, driving it in and sending it. What you realize is that the Mist Wraiths actually become more substantial as they begin to absorb the essence of a living person. And so in this sense, like when you thrust it through, you almost feel like you actually purchase on something as it dissipates with a scream, leaving Raylavar's face sadly intact.
It's vaguely reminiscent of the Alzabos from.
Oh yeah. Now, I have to say, when I designed this monster, I had not yet read.
Oh yeah, okay. It's
I
kind of
had not
reminds me of the
actually read
Alzabos.
but you got to realize, like when I read Book of the New Sun, I was
Yeah.
like, bro, like this is an actual dream I have had. Like how is this in somebody else's head? Like not just that, but like a bunch of other things. Like it really like messed with me the first time I read it, because I was just like,
some of this, I felt like that when you were reading over some of the story notes in your setting, because it's really similar to some of my
no, I literally
projects.
just read that book this last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but there's so much of it. It's just like right in my wheelhouse. Yeah.
It's a great book.
Great book.
Great series of
Okay.
books.
So these guys, just by the way, just so you know, if they manage to like steal your whole soul, then they basically become an evil doppelganger of your character that uses your character's identity to carry out their own vendettas and desires, which I think
Nice.
is really fun, but you guys
Could
always
have been useful. Yeah.
kill them
No,
beforehand.
it's
so.
a good monster.
All right, so couple of things here. First of all, those of you that are into your wounds, we need to do some of the scarring.
Yep.
So, these are probably the Mistwraiths. Mistwraiths are probably one of my home group's least favorite monsters. Like, it's just like,
Oh really?
once again, why? All right. So Argar, did you lose wounds into your second row?
I did. I'm all the way into my. I only have 2 boxes left on my last
So
row.
lost in the second row, filled the second row, lost wounds into the third row.
Yeah.
And you have how many remaining now? Just the one?
2. I have 2 wound boxes left.
So that's 30, 40, 45. All right. So give me a D100 roll.
Okay. 1 moment, please. I have rolled a 63.
Plus 45 is 107. Your face came back, but it came back horribly misshapen on one side. You have massive scarring. So first of all, you lose 2 metal permanently, which is going to affect your total valor from now on.
Okay.
Secondly, you have a negative trait for all influence rolls for pleasant social interactions. You have a positive trait for influence rolls for intimidation, because one half of your face is just horribly misshapen now. Burke, I need you to give me a D100 roll as well, por favor.
Ooh, that's high.
Oh,
That's an 89.
oh no. All right. Well,
Excellent.
okay. So you get everything that Argar just got. -2 your metal permanently. Negative trait for positive social interactions. Positive trait for intimidation. However, one of your eyes is also permanently damaged. You lose. Oh, you lose 3 clash points per round.
Oh, wow.
Because you cannot see out of one side of your face. Oh, wait, no, sorry, eye. Never mind. You just lose 20% to your perception.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have a negative trait to any kind of visual perception. So -2 metal, negative trait to positive social interactions, positive trait to intimidation. You lose 20% to your perception skill permanently, and you have a negative trait to perception test that involve your eyeball.
And how is valor calculated again? So I can recalculate.
So your valor is
valor.
calculated as your metal times your unfilled wound rows.
Oh, okay.
So if you permanently losing metal, then it starts to affect your value. Now there are ways to reverse this stuff. One of the main ways is that during a seasonal action phase, which is basically what it sounds like, it's the what's your character doing between adventures, basically. One of the things you can do is go on pilgrimage, and there are like wonder-working wells and things like that, places where sometimes you can get healing. Guys, you're still stuck in the
Day one.
That was day one.
for 4 more days. So I need just everyone to just go ahead and give me another willpower test.
Be careful.
Hey.
Well,
37.
I succeeded.
Success.
Yep, 35 for me.
Everyone succeeded?
I failed 91.
All right.
This
Oh,
GM
man.
really doesn't like us.
Oh no, it's not me. You guys got to realize, like, for the last like 3 months, I've been on the worst GM dice streak you can imagine. Like, none of my monsters are hitting. Nothing is going well for me. Like, players are just having everything their own way. And
Today is
apparently
the
that
day.
ends tonight. So, oh boy. All right. Well, that's another random encounter.
No more mysteries.
The second day, as you are there stuck in the poison tide.
I'm just gonna say, I have no more respect for Arpesh, like zero, absolutely
Yeah,
none.
that's
It's
fair.
all
That's fair.
gone.
Arpesh is like, and he senses that. Like, he's just like
Yeah.
kind of keeping to himself in his cabin, really surly.
As he should.
Holy crap. Okay. All right. So the next day, as you're licking your wounds, you're doing your best. Oh, by the way, there are, I should say, like, there are healing supplies on board the ship.
Yeah.
This is amazing, by the way. Like, the odds of like 2 encounters, like, days back to back, are very small. It's about 1 in 100. Like,
Hmm.
but you guys
You
are
thought we were gonna go on an adventure.
you guys are special. Well, all right. So there are some bitter rockweed poultices on board, which is like a common herbal poultice. All right, so you have 3 of them. Actually, you have 5 of them. These are part of the provisions that you were provided with for the journey. So they can be used once per day to heal 1d6 wounds. And then with bed rest, you can recover 1d4 wounds per day. And then also a successful healing check can add 3 to that. So you can get wounds back. It's a little tedious, but you can get them back. So what I would say is, do you guys want to use on the 2 people who have wounds, do you want to just say you used a poultice on each of you guys, on Relivar and Argar?
Please.
So Relivar, you get 3 wounds back. Argar, you get 4. And then the next day you'd be able to do the same thing again.
Could I roll a healing check? Sorry.
Yes, you can.
Nope.
All right. Relivar, the next day you get 6 back if you use your next poultice. And Argar, you also get 6.
All right.
All right. So it's towards the end of the second day, stuck in the poisoned tide, that you begin to see some movement out there in the mass of seaweed that holds your ship in place. Whatever it is, it seems to almost be causing the water around it to boil. But like you realize it's not boiling with heat, it's just like roiling with activity. All right. Okay. At this point, everybody's kind of just out on the deck, keeping their eye out for more mist wraiths, just looking for a break in the seaweed, trying to man the sweeps as often as you can, trying to just get through this. And that is who's the group lookout?
Not me anymore.
I will say that I could definitely look
Jathar, you
around to
seem like
find things.
Give me
Yeah.
a perception
I
roll.
can be the lookout
Yeah.
too. I'm like probably the least prone for ambush. That's one of my specials. So.
That is true. Who knows? You
Okay.
do have a positive trait to avoid ambushes. So either Who Knows or Jathar. So Clash System just have like a 1 roll per group scene, per scene rule for things like this. So either one of you just give me a perception roll.
Go ahead.
Or Relivar if you want to be the lookout man. I'm not going to stop. You're not handicapped. You're handy capable. Okay, you get an extra 3 for the second day then, Relivar.
Yep.
I just saw your DM.
Okay, I rolled a I rolled a 38 with I think a 45
Okay.
threshold. So
You're the first one to notice this activity in the water. And at first it kind of looks like something is kind of bubbling in the water, and then you actually see it's these huge forms. Each one is about man-sized, kind of popping up over the top of the seaweed, dipping back down it again. But there's a small flock or a school of something moving towards your ship.
range weapons. Anyone?
I will
Yeah,
start.
I have a sling.
What if we like, you know that we bought the spice, right?
Yeah.
You did.
So I'm gonna say, what if we put the spice, kind of sprinkle it around the ship where they're gonna be coming from? Just a little bit, because it's super strong. It might work with a little bit of oil, because oil kind of floats on water.
I don't know that we have enough for it to do anything to whatever these are.
Well,
That
I'm
is
out of
good.
ideas then.
Creative idea.
What are you guys doing? You don't have a lot of time to discuss.
People are pulling out ranged weapons. I'll start singing.
How how high above the water is the deck?
Probably what, like 8-10 feet, something like that.
Okay.
A small boat.
Can I grab a marlin spike or something? Or something with some length on it.
Could I
Treat it like a siege.
All right, hold on. All right, so I'm going to give you guys until I find the picture that I want to share with you, the plan, and then we're going. Really would like to have an image.
The ship doesn't have anything on it that is like highly combustible. Is there?
Not like
Yeah.
sensitive explosives or anything like.
I'm thinking I could just throw something in the water, set it on fire with like a torch or something, and scare whatever this is away.
Man, I was hoping I had a good piece of art. I know I have a good piece of art, but I just can't get to it easily. It's in the new
So,
series, so.
how many of these creatures do we see? Do we see like 2 or 3 or like 14 or what's the?
Or is it big?
Maybe we can intimidate them out now that we've got two disfigured people.
All right. These things breach the water as they get closer, and you can now very clearly see there are 4 of them. They are what are called sea scorpions. Kind of like some unholy hybrid, basically between like an eel, a lobster, a scorpion, and a horseshoe crab. And they are like sort of like their whole shells are covered with these little iridescent eyes. These are among those graceful denizens of the deep, which were corrupted and twisted by Orkon's evil long ago. And they're within shooting range. Because Who Knows his eyes are sharp, you guys will have 2 rounds of shooting before they actually close with the ship. Each of them is about man-sized, though, so they're pretty substantial.
I'm going to start singing the Star of the West to enhance any ranged.
All right, you sing the Song of the West, so that enhances everybody's range. Does it add damage or does it add accuracy?
It does. It adds both 25% ranged and 1d6. Or is it? Do I have to
It's
choose?
broken, but I'll allow it. All right.
Let me
so
double check.
You guys get a plus 25% to hit these things as they move in.
Can I spend a fate point to re-roll my otherwise failed
You can.
die?
I always encourage spending of fate points.
Ugh, that is also going to fail. So never mind. I just start
Never
singing,
mind.
and
All right, so
it's annoying.
You lose half the devotion cost as Rilovar tries to sing, but unfortunately his mutilated vocal cords have not yet healed to the point where he can carry a tune. All right, who's taking a shot first round? All right, Argar.
All right. So I get plus 25% from the buff.
You don't because the buff
Oh.
fails.
Oh, if it, okay. Well, then I miss horribly.
All right.
Does
Anybody else?
anyone does anyone on the ship maybe have a bow? That
Yeah,
I
the
could
sailors,
use?
the sailors are not Marines. They were basically expecting you guys to do the fighting, but
Yeah.
there are a couple of the sailors do have short bows, which they'll be shooting.
Okay. Could I grab one of those?
Yeah, they're like, here, please take it.
Yeah, okay. As I figured, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I will, yeah, I'll shoot one of these guys.
Give me a ranged attack.
It failed.
All right.
Even with the bonus.
There's no bonus.
There's no bonus. The bonus
Okay.
failed.
No.
All right, who knows? Do you have a ranged attack?
I rolled an 82.
I don't, but I'm gonna be I'm gonna be taking some rope and preparing this massive rope to throw on something as it comes up.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so Argar and Jathar, you guys get a second round of shooting before these things close.
Okay.
Nope. Not even
Okay.
close.
Jathar?
I'll check. Nope. I rolled a 94. It's even worse.
All right. There is a hasty barrage of missiles which misses completely as these things close with you. I would like everyone to just go ahead and roll initiative, please. Wow. This is the most combat, by the way, of any of the Midnight War things so far. Like, please, this is very atypical. I don't know what to tell you.
13.
I got a
This is also the
17.
first time in like a couple of years of real time that somebody's been stuck in a poison tide. So like, I'm a
Oh
little
man.
excited
Of
right now. I'm
course.
trying not to show it, but I'm a little excited. Because like there are fun possibilities that include you like going insane and such.
Oh, that's fun.
Fun for me. All right, so sorry, what'd you guys get?
I heard a 13, and
Yeah, I
then
got a
I heard a
17.
17. I have a 15.
18.
Nice.
All right, so the order here is a player goes, a monster, the monsters go, and then everybody else goes. So who wants to go first?
Who's 18?
Because
No,
anyone can decide.
You guys can pick from round to round who takes the slot. So the slots are like fungible, basically.
Well,
Oh.
who knows? Since you had a plan, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna basically throw this loose thing of rope as these things are kind of launching up the edge of the boat.
They sort of get to the edge of the boat and they actually start skittering upwards on their spider-like legs.
Okay, that's when I'm throwing a massive rope at them.
All right. I mean, it's not. I mean, you are on board a ship. It's not inconceivable to think that there'd be like a net or something. I tell you what, just give me a ranged attack roll. See if you can snare one of these guys. He's going to clash with you.
You
He's
wanna-
going to basically oppose it with his agility.
Yeah, I failed. So
Well, so did he. Yeah, so you kind of like hurl the net over the side, and it like hits one, and then just kind of glances off the back of his smooth shell. All right, it is their turn, and they hit the deck, and one of them attacks you, Hunos.
I can take it.
Would you like to clash?
Yeah, why not?
You don't have to take it. You can fight back if you want to.
Yeah, I
What'd you
will.
get?
40. My melee is 45.
All right, well, that'll
Melee is
be
75. So
that'll be my 21. So how much damage did you do?
a lot.
He's like a lot. Don't worry about it.
12 actually. It's 12.
All right, you crack the shell of one of these things as it comes over the gunnels. It's in bad shape. It's not dead, but there's a kind of a sort of a screeching and clicking noise that it makes as a kind of a thick black ooze starts coming out of the carapace. All right, so you did 12 damage total. All right, it's rough. Okay, the next one, there are 4 of them, so the next one's going to attack you, Jathar. Comes over, like, gets to the top of the gunnel and just leaps at you.
Okay. Try to dodge. I failed.
You can try.
Yeah.
But you won't succeed.
Nope.
All right. It crunches into you with its toothless maw, its chitinous jaws clamping down on you and dealing 12 damage. Now, keep in mind, your valor resets at the start of each
Yeah.
fight. So everybody should be up to whatever their new maximum valor is. If you have filled wound rows, it's going to be, or you lost metal from scarring, right? It'll be less than it was last fight.
And
All right,
it's
take 12 damage.
it's whatever your wound is times your metal score,
Your
correct?
unfilled wound rows times
Unfilled
your
wounds.
metal
Yeah.
equals your valor. And these do not ignore your protection. So it's 12 damage before protection.
And protection just -1 or minus whatever.
Yeah, minus whatever your protection rating is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. The second one, third one is coming for you, Argar.
I will clash.
Good luck beating my 95.
Well, I have not beat your 95, but I've also failed.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. And then the last one goes for Relivar.
Yep.
Coming
I'm
away.
gonna question about the counterattack. Does that functionally do the same as a dodge, but also attacks?
Yeah.
So okay, I will do that.
Unless your dodge is like really high or it's a ranged attack, you basically always want to counterattack.
Yeah, sounds like it. Ooh, 39.
That beats my 75, which is a failure.
Okay,
So give me some damage.
great.
Lay it on me.
Let's see. And I'm gonna try to strongly attack.
You can't do that on his turn.
Not on counterattack. Okay.
Yeah, you just see your normal damage on a counterattack, unfortunately.
1.
All right, well, that does not get through. So bad, guys. That does not get through his chitinous hide. All right, so that's it for the sea scorpions. We're on to any 3 of you other than Hunos in any order.
All right. Well, I'll just go. Wait, unless Relivar wants to try to sing again.
I'm kind of dealing with the one that's on me.
Okay. All right. Then I'll just kind of jump back to my perch that I was on before. And then I'll use the bow and I'll shoot the one that
So he does have a
arm.
clash point, so he's gonna try to bite you.
Okay.
Because he's like clamped onto your arm right now. He's gonna try to
Yep.
bite you to get away. So you need to give me an athletics roll.
Okay.
Lost my D10 somewhere. Here it is.
Athletics.
There.
Which one would be oh wait. Yeah, I succeed. I got a 40.
I got a 59. Which is a success. So
Oh.
you do not move away,
Okay.
and he bites you, and you take another 14 damage minus your protection.
Okay.
All
Can I
right.
still attack, or is that
No, that was your turn.
okay? Cool.
Yep. All right.
Would it be possible to take my shield and try to shove the thing off the deck?
Oh, like back into the water?
Yeah, just to buy us
Sure.
some time.
Give me an athletics roll.
All right. This was a bad idea. No, it wasn't. 21?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's about as big as you and quite strong, and with the 24, it's more athletic than you are.
Gotcha.
Argar, what you got?
All right. I believe that one attacked me, so I'm going to attack the one I'm engaged with, and I'm going to miss really horribly, but not quite critically fail.
All right, well, it also misses you, if that makes you feel any better. We're back to the top of round. Any one of you can go now, including somebody who just went. So you guys can really like think about the turn order here. There is a little bit of strategy into like using up smaller monsters like this. Smaller monsters like this have like usually about 1 clash point apiece, which is what these guys have. So there is some sort of strategy into like trying to get monsters to use their clash points so that they can't use them later, stuff like that. So anyway, don't worry about that too much tonight, but I just want to mention it. So any one of you gets to go now.
And so, on that line, like getting him to use their clash point, would they have to do that in defense typically, or on the counter?
Yeah. Typically speaking, like if you attack them, they'll, I can spend a clash point to counterattack the same way you can. My guys have like a pool of clash points that they contribute to, so I have 4 per turn because each one of these guys generates 1, which also means like the more you kill them, the
Is there a way for who knows to sort of engage 2 of them at once with a lesser?
There is a specific mechanic for this. It's called, let's see here. This is in the combat chapter. So in Melee, you can do what's called a sweeping arc. You spend 2 clash points to deal with half damage to 1 adjacent target, or 3 for 2 targets. So basically, you do max damage to the first one you hit, and then if you also hit the other 2, you get to deal damage to them as well, like half damage.
Okay, I'd like to try that.
Great.
I have to choose whether I'm attacking 2 or 3.
Yeah. So basically, first of all, see if your first attack hits before you spend any clash points. You can just see if your first attack hits.
Yeah, so I rolled a 49, and I need my melee is 75. So
Okay, I got a 46 on my clash with you, so you beat me by 3. So you did hit. Now, you get how many clash points do you have total?
4.
4. So if you wanted to, you could spend 2 for an extra d6 damage, and then 2 to hit 1 adjacent target. So then you would roll damage. All of the damage would go to the first target, and then half of it would go to the adjacent target.
And I can only hit 2, not 3, right?
Well, if you do what I just
Could I
said.
use
Now,
clash
if
points
you
to hit
don't do
3,
the extra
not worry about
damage,
Okay.
if you don't worry about the extra damage, you can spend 3 clash points to deal damage to 2 extras.
I think that's what I'd like to do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Give me a damage roll.
First damage roll is 15.
All right, that's just gonna straight up kill that one.
Okay. Do I need to make another melee
No,
roll?
no. So and then half of that is 8. So it's 8 apiece to the 2 adjacent ones. It's reduced heavily because of their armor. They do have these sort of thick chitinous like armor plates.
Gotcha.
But they both take some damage.
Do any of them use clash points?
They don't get to clash on
Okay.
those. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Good expenditure of clash points. All right, so that was it for Hunos. It's now the remaining Sea Scorpion's turns. So you killed the one that was engaged with you. The others are going to attack your 3 companions, starting with Jathar. Are you clashing?
Yeah, I failed.
All right.
Can
well,
I clash using ranged combat, or is
you
it only
cannot
melee?
in this
Okay,
case. I'm sorry.
I figured that.
So it does hit you with its stinger. It deals 6 points of damage minus your protection.
Okay.
And I just need you to give me an endurance test, please.
Nope.
All right, you are as the stinger hits you, you are poisoned and knocked prone. I'll let you know about the effect of the
Yeah.
poison a little bit later on. Relivar, next
Yep.
one's coming your way.
Counterattack. 35.
That'll beat my 15.
Woo. All right.
Give me some damage.
And something more than 1. 8. More than 1.
Nice, 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 nice. All right, that one is not dead, but he's definitely not liking it. All right. That just leaves Argar.
I will counterattack. I rolled 30 on my counterattack.
Well, I hit you with a 62.
Right.
So you also need to give me an endurance test.
Oh, what was the damage?
Damage is 3 before your protection.
My protection is 6.
Well, in
Do
that
I still
case,
make a save?
Nope. There's no
Didn't think
point.
so.
Like the
Yeah.
stinger slams into your plate armor or whatever it is you're wearing, and
It's mail and shield.
yeah, glances off. All right. It's now any 3 of your turns. Hunos has already taken his turn, so the rest of you in any order.
Now, being knocked prone.
Yes.
What does that do exactly?
Yeah, so you need to spend a clash point to stand, basically.
Oh, okay.
You are, however, poisoned.
Yeah.
So very particular little rule here. Here we go. All right. Oh boy. Okay. No effect yet. All right. Sorry. Continue.
Then I guess I will. So, can I do a ranged combat shot even though it's on me? Or
What I'd say is that it'll be a difficult shot. Should be at minus 25% to your target.
okay. Well, I'll try to move away again then.
Okay. Give me an athletics test.
Trying to roll out from underneath this guy finally, and I got a
guys
41,
are
which is a
incredibly
success.
hot.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
get a 63, which beats that. So I've been on such a bad streak that guys, you should really actually pity me. That's
yeah, exactly.
so you take 9 damage before your protection as you
Goodness.
try to inch away, fumbling with the arrow, trying to get under the string as this thing is just.
At least my guy is very courageous, so isn't
Very
quite dead
valorous.
yet.
All right, Relivar, what you got?
I'm gonna bane this thing first.
Oh,
At a 10. So
that'll succeed.
that works. Okay. So it's baned, and then
Yep.
I will attack it normally. 41 succeeds on my end.
All right, so I got a 48. Your Bane did prevent a critical hit from hitting you. So that's nice, but I do hit you for cannot hold on, my stupid dice. Hold on.
This guy is killing us, whittling us down.
I do hit you for 7 points of damage before your protection.
Okay.
All right, Argar.
All right. Let's see if I can hit something. I have rolled a 48.
I've
Which
rolled
is
75, which is a failure for me.
Okay.
You
I
guys
will
spend
spend.
some clash for extra.
I will spend the class for the extra damage. Yeah. And we had, unfortunately, only 9. My dice were not good.
Yeah. All right. That's not nearly as much as you would like it to be because of the creature's natural protection.
Yeah.
You need some overkill here, guys, in a big way. Who knows? Speaking of overkill, it is your turn.
I'm gonna,
Or actually,
I'm gonna overkill the one attacking Jathar from behind.
all right. You run up, slashing your blade. Give me an attack roll.
Yeah, 48.
I don't actually have any clash points, so I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So that's the nice thing about
I'll
like
go ahead
turn
and
order
add
here is that by the
class
time you
damage.
guys have taken your turns, I've used all my clash points, which means I got nothing for who knows who is my big threat here.
Okay.
15.
15 damage.
Yeah.
Are you spending anything to hit adjacent targets, or are you just
Just on this one, no.
all right? Well, he dead.
Yeah, I didn't think there were adjacent targets because Jathar had been.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair. Yeah. All right.
Jathar's gonna say thank you.
I actually do usually run this with a map, but just for purposes of like it's everybody's first time and everything, it's like one less complication, but it really is more fun with a map. All right. It's the remaining 2. One is attacking you killed the one attacking Jathar.
Yeah.
All right. So the one attacking Relevar is still up, so it's gonna come for you, Relevar.
Yep. I'm gonna clash and try to break it. 28.
I got a 54, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is going to try to sting you here.
Yep.
4 damage before your protection.
Okay.
How much protection do you have?
That meets it, actually. I'm at 4.
Okay, so nothing happens then. All right, well, that's a bummer. Argar.
Yeah, real bummer.
All right. I will counterattack. I have a 47.
That'll beat my 14.
Okay.
I just want you to know this one's name is Kevin, and he has a very rich and fulfilling family life.
I
he
deal
would-
Kevin needs to
he would actually like you to be
die.
a-
I deal 4 damage.
Okay, well, that doesn't get through his protection. Your damage rolls tonight, dude, have been
I know, right?
like
Terrible. Really bad.
All right. Top of the round. Or actually, no, not top of the round because that was a counterattack. All right, so it's
Wow.
the 3 of you in any order.
Well, I guess Jathar's just gonna finally stand up, realizing that he has there's something seeping in his veins a little bit.
Speaking of that, could you just give me an endurance test right now? No big deal.
I should have said anything. All right. Yeah, that fails miserably. 95.
No worries. You just take 4 wounds.
Oh,
Straight past your valor, right to wounds.
okay. All right.
Yeah, you're definitely poisoned.
Yeah.
This is not a good feeling. You kind of like bend over and retch, and there's like a mix of like vomit and blood and something black you don't recognize comes out.
Okay. All right. Can I still shoot?
Yeah.
All right. I will shoot my bow.
All right. Which one are you shooting at?
I am gonna shoot at the one that Argar is trying to
So because I'm just gonna
pierce.
tell you now, because you're shooting into melee, if you critically fail, you're gonna hit something you didn't mean to hit.
All right, I still do it.
Okay.
I rolled a 49, which is a success.
All right. Give me some damage.
And then I'm gonna use 2 clash points to
Add a d6.
add a d6.
Right. For overdraw.
So, and I think short bows are what, 1d8?
Yep.
All right. D6. 7 points of damage.
All right. The arrow lodges underneath one of the plates, but doesn't seem like it gets very far. All right. Both of the remaining sea scorpions are injured. And at the top of the round, I'm just going to actually, first of all, who knows? You get a turn. Or actually, you don't have to go in the same order every time. So somebody else could go right now.
Yeah.
But one of you gets a move here.
Do you guys mind if I do a double attack?
No,
again?
yeah, do you go ahead?
We
go
I would mind.
right ahead.
Okay.
Also, I don't think I went because I had my attack was the last attack was a counter
I
attack.
think
when
you're
it
you're
attacked
totally
me.
right. You're totally right. Go
So
and
let me take my turn first, and then he can do the double attack.
Yeah.
go and do your 3 damage, Argar. Come on.
No, I
Just
missed.
impale the
entirely.
arrow a
I
little
rolled
bit.
an 80. I missed.
I miss on my clash as well. All right. Top of the round. Who's up?
Okay.
Again, doesn't have to be. Who knows?
Yeah,
It
who
should
knows?
be,
Seems to
though.
be the one capable
It
of doing
should be.
damage.
Dang it.
Yeah, I rolled a 31, and I'm just using clash points to distribute damage, I think. Or actually, if I've got 4 points, I can use 2 for damage and 2 for
Yep. All
second
right. So
target.
what's your total damage?
All right. $17.
All right. Well, they're both dead. Who knows? Has had enough of this, and he goes into a berserk
Hey, crap.
rage, storming across the deck of the ship with 2 swift strokes of his red fang longsword. He dismembers the 2 remaining sea scorpions. All right.
No sea scorpions.
Jafar, roll a d100 for me.
Oh,
It's a straight d100.
I rolled a 15. Low means good.
Okay. Low actually is good in this case. You don't take any scarring.
You
from
don't become a crab.
poison. And I don't think nobody else got into their wounds that time, did they?
Nope.
Just lily old Jafar.
The second day of horrors passes in the poison tide. I need a willpower test from everybody.
Point of order, is this the second day while we're stuck for the 5 days?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've now been stuck 2 out of 5
Okay.
on your
0,
first
2.
day of travel. Traveling in winter is bad news, though. All right.
A 2.
27, which is a success.
I'm
Anybody
gonna fail,
fail?
but my willpower is 25, so I'm pretty much gonna fail.
Oh, buddy. All right,
92.
so we got 1 failure.
2 failures. Oh wait, or this was mine.
Yeah, 2 bit. Yeah.
Where'd you get your Zephyr?
I got a 27, so he succeed. He's gonna give us another encounter.
1,000.
I see his face. He's doing it.
All right. Okay, that's a. Ah. Come on. I need another crack. All right. You all experience on the 3rd day severe ennui and despair. A sense that you're never going to get out of this, actually. So you all lose 3 metal. Now, write this down because it's temporary. When you get to a safe place and you're able to rest, you'll regain it. But you lose 3 metal, which means that your valor next time is going to be less. All right, everyone give me a willpower test for the 4th day.
Can I, at the beginning of this day, start singing the Song of the East, to add to common skills, or is that an all-day thing and I don't have enough to...
No, absolutely. I'll totally allow it in this case.
Okay. Let me know how many rounds that takes, assuming that I
So
Hit.
so go ahead and just like tell me if you make it.
I don't.
Okay.
My voice still hasn't recovered.
All right, and then you guys do also recover some wounds. We can figure that out. Let's see here. For the third day, you guys recover. Well, you didn't do anything. Yeah, because you weren't attacked. So on the third day, you each recover 4 wounds, or everybody that's taken wounds recovers 4. All right. So on the fourth day, for the fourth day, everyone go ahead and give me a. So what's the buff there to common skills?
It failed.
Okay, doesn't matter then.
Nope.
All right, so everyone give me a willpower test.
I fail.
Pass.
I pass. Oh
Good.
man.
Yeah, that's a 90.
Ugh.
All right, that's 2 failures. That was really a lucky roll for you guys right there.
That was the first, I think, probably.
Pretty much.
We're only slightly sad.
Yeah.
No, you're still real sad, but oh boy. All right, show of hands, who failed here? Was it Brelovar and Argar? On the 4th day, trapped in the poison tide, you both experience a series of vivid hallucinations of beauty and madness. And this leads both of you to kind of wander towards the edge of the ship and look out over it, staring down into the black water and the tangle of weeds and the weird sort of like air bladders and just like the roiling mass around the ship. And you're staring into it. And Argar, you're pretty sure it's the most beautiful thing that you have ever seen. And you want nothing more than to be a part of it. And Relivar, you're pretty sure there's something down there and it just made a rude gesture at you. And so both of you, for your own independent reasons, go flying overboard at the moment, and you hear a splash, and somebody yells out, "Man overboard!" Now,
I'm in mail.
you are in mail.
I'm in mail.
Doesn't mean you can't swim, but it does mean swimming is a little more difficult.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So, Relivar, the madness affects you for 3 rounds here. Or no, the madness just affects you. Did either of you have water breathing as a trait?
It's a negative for me.
That is a thing sometimes people have.
Nope.
Okay, great. Well, okay. Wow. All right, so is anybody making an effort here to save either of these poor idiots?
I'm throwing rope overboard on top of him.
Okay. All right, so you see them jump over, you grab a handy rope, sensibly thinking, I'm already in heavy armor, and you throw a rope out to them. Do you say anything as you throw the rope?
Yeah, I bellow, fools.
Yeah, fair enough. You both jump into the water, Relivar and Argar, and as you do so, you begin to sink. Argar, you're sinking a little bit faster, and as your mouth and like your lungs start to take in water, you suddenly like wake up out of your stupor and you realize you have made a huge mistake. Right at this moment, you see a rope splash the top of the water and kind of trailing up, but you're gonna have to claw your way up through the water to get at it. You can both give me an athletics test, Argar. I'm sorry, it's gonna be a minus 25 because you are in armor.
Okay.
Ooh, that is a 12.
I have rolled a 32. My
Under.
athletics is 58, so 20. Nope, I failed.
So close.
No, wait, I have
I was about
succeeded
to
by
say,
one.
yeah, you
I was
succeeded
gonna
by
say, I
one.
was
Succeeded
like,
by
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, succeeded by
that's really-
one.
Okay,
Just barely. Skin of my
what'd you get,
teeth.
Relivar?
12. I succeed.
Okay. You both wake up in time, and your companions manage to haul you out, soaked with salt water, dripping like with seaweed still clinging to you all. The water under there is really unhealthy. Whatever's going on, it is not good. All right, that would have been just a really fun drowning end to the night. Give me one more willpower test, everybody.
I need to retire these dice.
I can't blame it on the dice. My willpower is 25. I mean, I'm just gonna fail. 92.
Nice.
93.
Are
I've
you
got
kidding me?
Just drowning is not good for mental health.
Who knows what'd you get? Just
I
what'd you get?
succeeded.
You
I
succeeded.
got a, yeah,
Who else did you fail?
a
Succeed?
31. Oh, I don't know if you can hear anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't look like it.
Dave,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
did you succeed or fail?
I succeeded. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. All right, so we got 2 failures, which means there's a 20% chance of another random encounter. All right. I rolled an 8, so there's not another random encounter. That would have been a long night right there. I never fudge things though, so like it is what it is. All right. On the 5th day, as you're trapped amid the weeds of the poison tide, the swollen bladders of the vile water weeds begin to burst, filling the air with noxious vapors. I need everyone to make an endurance test.
Oh, I gotta get poisoned again. Yeah, I failed.
Awesome.
Dathar failed.
Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
I failed.
Pass.
Fail.
Everybody who failed temporarily loses 2 metal and 1 clash point. The clash points lost this way are not regained until you manage to get free of the poison tide, which fortunately you do. On the 5th day, finally, as the air bladders of the vile water weeds that holding your ship locked in place begin to burst, a fresh wind picks up from the south, filling your sails and finally carrying you out of this malaise of misery. I need everyone to give me a survival or sailing test.
All right.
We're gonna at
Let's
least guide
not
destination.
get to another one of these
I have
seaweed
succeeded
things.
on that.
Congratulations, Argar. Does it feel
I
good?
failed.
All right,
I
one
failed.
failure.
So, Ken, before we do that, I succeeded finally on a Star of the East test. So everybody gets plus 25% to common
Nice.
skills.
Nice.
Then I succeeded.
All right. Who knows? Did you succeed with the plus 25% to your target?
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So everybody passed,
I did not.
even with a plus 25%.
You got a 94.
You're killing me, buddy. You're killing me.
This-
All right.
These dice are going away.
All right.
I'm superstitious now.
Listen, everybody's like, I'm not superstitious. And I'm like, how many dice games have you played? All right. So everybody loses 3 metal temporarily from
Oh, man.
weariness. Which means basically your ability to like deal with any kind of a fight is greatly
Yeah.
reduced. Over the course of the next day, by the way, those of you who still have wounds, recover another 4. Which normally you don't get to recover while you're traveling, but you are on board a ship, so you can basically lay around all day if nothing is happening. All right, I need everyone to go and give me another travel or sailing test. Do you want to do the magic again there, Relivar?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the magic again.
Do the magic. This is a good use of this. I haven't actually seen my home players do this. Although I did
Shoot.
recently kill our Star Singer, so.
69, so that's a fail.
Okay, all right. So everyone go and give me a survival or sailing test.
I failed.
That was a failure, who knows?
I succeed.
Jathar failed.
Fair success.
That's 2 failures?
Who knows who
20%
failed?
chance, guys. Here we go. You are plagued with a day of horrible weather, raging storms, snow, ice. You lose another 3 metal temporarily. So keep track of how much metal you've been losing temporarily, because it'll come back if you can make it to the end of your journey.
All of it is gone.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
at
not
0,
great.
I think. Or
Yeah.
actually, can you go negative?
I'm at
I don't-
2.
This has never happened before. I have no idea.
I'm definitely because it was 3 temporary and then another
Another
3, 3,
3
and
temporary
2.
and
So
another
and my
3
medal's
temporary.
8, so I'm at 0.
Oh, that's brutal. So this is good playtesting because I'm like I've literally never run a journey that's gone this bad before. So it's like, oh man, 3 days in a row, you might have no valor at all for a fight, which is not unrealistic, but maybe those 3 each need to be 2 each or something like that.
I have 6 valor.
Cool. All right, well, it's the final day of sailing on the open sea. I need everyone to give me one last sailing or survival test.
I tried magic. I succeed.
Succeeded.
Fail.
So add 25%.
Fail even with a plus 25% to
At a
your
plus 25.
I rolled 87.
Well, I succeeded only because of the plus 25.
All right, so we got 1 failure.
Yep.
Here we go.
I failed 2.
Oh, 2 failures.
96.
2 failures.
All right, well, everyone loses another 3 metal.
Negative
What
1.
happens at negative metal?
I don't think anything happens at this point. You're just so exhausted. It basically negative, like 0 metal means you have no valor going into a
We
battle.
become our pesh.
You are just completely exhausted.
Completely.
These 4 days on the open sea, well, not 4 days, now 9 days on the open sea, have taken so much out of you that finally, when you see land in sight and your ship begins to make its way up the Ralar River, you are completely spent, and you still have like a whole intrigue to do. Like you got to track somebody down. Apparently, you got to fly to duel. Arpesh has been kind of non-specific about the plans there. He's also just like been holed up in his cabin, not really helping with anything going on with the crew, and definitely didn't pull his weight in any of those fights. So you're not really sure. Can you even trust this guy? Do you guys want to try to at least get to Relicar? Is everybody doing okay on time? Does anybody need to go immediately? I know we're at 11 p.m. Central Time now.
It's only 9 for me. I'm fine.
A bunch of you, I was gonna say a bunch of you are on the West Coast, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks like
Yep.
3 out of the 4 of us are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, are you okay, Burke? Because you're in.
Yeah, I'm
Eastern
good for a
Time.
while.
Okay.
It's only
all right.
midnight.
It's only midnight. It's only midnight. Yeah, but this guy teaches, so like he doesn't even have to go to work.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Just sleeping in every day in the summer. Teaching is such an easy job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
know
easy.
my sister and brother-in-law are in Europe for like the next 6 weeks.
Yeah. No, I hugely appreciate teachers, and I mean I do have 6 kids that I homeschool, so I have some idea, you know, but I do respect it. But I also just give my teachers friends like a really hard time because I know most of them are actually working off their butts during the summer. Like you know, I don't know a teacher that actually seriously takes the summer off, but I still hassle them anyway.
Oh, of course.
All right. So you finally reach the mouth of the River Ralar. So the River Ralar flows from the northwestern shore highlands of the lands around the sea into the Emborian Sea. And the city of Ralakar itself is actually several miles upriver. 1, 2, 3, 10. All right. Because you're going upriver, because you're going against the current, it will take you 3 days. Fortunately, these are relatively safe lands. The chances of random encounters are significantly less here. But I do need everyone to go ahead and give me another sailing or travel or survival check.
I will again try to get us a boost and succeed. 25% boost.
I succeed.
I succeed.
Success.
All right.
Succeed? Yeah.
Look at that. That's not so bad. Okay. Go and give me the next one.
Also, I'm assuming that devotion points
Reset at
are
the start
restored
of
at
each day. Reset at
day,
the start of each day. Yeah.
I fail.
Success.
Do they get a plus 25 there, Ron?
they get plus 25. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still fail.
Okay. All right. So is that
Succeed.
all right? So that's one failure?
This is the second roll in the last minute or two.
Yes.
Okay, I failed the second one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. On the second day upriver, you guys do in fact trigger a random encounter.
And we don't have our medal yet, right? Medal back.
You do not.
Okay.
I feel like I'm contractually obligated to remind you that running away is always an option.
So would running away mean jumping into the river at this point?
I mean, you could try to just like try to outpace whatever it is in the ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, evasion works.
You are
Everyone
in a boat.
evade.
Yeah, you are in a boat.
Oh yeah, we're not stuck anymore.
I still have $12. We can handle it.
Who knows? Is like, I got this, you guys. You just stay in the back of the boat. It's fine. I got this. All right. All right. Well, that was not one of the good options. There are good options on these rule tables, I swear. Ooh. Who knows? Give me your perception test.
Now, who knows? You said you had 45. Do you get like a boost to that? Because I have 75 perception.
Oh, geez. So he does get a positive trait to detect ambushes, but I think that's not as good as a 75%.
Yeah, I have a 65.
Oh, 65. Oh, okay. Then
In that
yeah,
case, maybe it's about the same.
Yeah, that's fine. Then you go for it.
And then what's the burst? What does the Panther Eyes do for me?
It gives you, lets you re-roll the 1 and take the better result.
Okay. Could I use that right now?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. I got a 62. So
All right. You spot a small herd of about 6 Shadlaharl moving towards the ship. So the Shadlaharl are the word in Amborian literally means the great tusked beasts. And you basically need to imagine a demon hippopotamus. There are 6 of them. They will mess you up. They are a very bad time. And yeah, I would say at this point, if you guys want to just try to outrun these things in the ship, that is totally valid.
Yeah.
Who's got the highest sailing in the party?
65?
Oh, geez. How have you been failing things?
Yeah, I've been getting 90s. Okay. Should I roll?
Definitely. Yeah, that's
Okay.
cute.
Yeah, you've got the
You
highest
threw
sailing.
those other dice away, though, right?
Yeah, I did.
All right, take the wheel.
Oh no. 71.
Do we all have to roll sailing?
It's the highest.
So it's really just one of you that needs to roll in this case to see if you can outrun these things.
Okay.
Sailing, hold on, is I'm trying to remember what skill group that's in. That's a common skill?
Common.
Yeah. Can I retroactively apply?
The singing.
No,
ritual?
I don't think so.
That's all right.
Okay, well, that I also failed, so we go into the second round of the pursuit. So go ahead and give me another sailing test.
Okay. That's better. That's a 52 that succeeds.
All right. These things are pretty fast swimmers. But they as your vessel picks up speed, they just kind of lose interest and go back to where they were feeding. All right, third and final day of the voyage. I need everyone to go and give me one more sailing test.
I will again start singing. That succeeds. So we get since 25.
Pass.
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 That was passes all the way across.
Yep, it was.
Yep.
As you move up the river, you can see the wide moorlands of the north on your right, and on the left, the highlands of the Rallar Hills, and kind of hugging the northern edge of the highlands, the Rallar River flows cold and swift into the Emborian Sea. And as you reach kind of the northwestern bend of the river, you see the city of Ralakar itself, gray and stoic on the northeastern shore. It is a walled city. It's not nearly as large or as beautiful as, for instance, Karukanar, Dlafi Chloropeim, the island you came from. It's not nearly as beautiful as that. It's certainly nothing compared to the holy city of Senkankar, for those of you who have looked upon it. But it is the first sign of real civilization you guys have seen in about 13 horrible days on the water. And
Well,
it is a sight.
We have one extra day of food left.
Yeah.
What was that?
We have one extra day of food.
Yeah, this is why my home players dread ships and vans.
What was that, Nate?
Ships and vans. It's like because of Cyberpunk 2020, they never want to get in a van, and because of every fantasy game I have ever run, they don't ever want to get on a boat.
It just never goes well. This is
They call ships the vans of the sea.
This is literally the worst voyage in the history of running this game. So you guys are very privileged in that way. So what I'd like to do, honestly, I'd like to get you guys to the end of the adventure. If you're game for it, let's just play again next week, if this time works for everybody.
She does.
I think so.
All right, so let's
I
just do that.
might be. So the problem is that I have Vespers at 6 my time on Wednesdays,
Okay.
which is
Which is
when this
8,
starts.
Which is when this starts.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always just jump in when you get back or something if you want to.
Okay.
I don't want to
Yeah.
start this much later my time because
Yep.
it'd be pretty rough. But
Okay.
but you're welcome to. You could just jump back. You can just
All
jump.
right. Sounds
We
good.
could
Yeah.
also do like I mean, I could honestly start this time Thursday next week as well if that works better for everybody.
Thursday,
It's up
I
to
have
them
a,
three.
Thursday I have a class.
All right, let's
Yeah.
just do Wednesday. We'll do
Yeah.
Wednesday next week, and yeah, man, you can just jump in a little bit late if you want to. It's not a big
Okay.
deal.
Sounds good.
Well, guys, it'll be the same Zoom link and everything next time. This was unexpectedly delightful. Make sure you keep track of like wherever your wounds are at and everything. Oh, we didn't actually do the healing for the 3 days you guys were on the water. So the first day, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a total of 8 wounds you guys would have healed while you were on the river. In addition to what have you healed already. So those of you who had wounds should be most of the way back to having those wound rows filled up. But you are all completely out of metal, I think, at this point, except for maybe who knows. So, well, that was a rough voyage. But you've made it all the way across the Emborian Sea, basically, and the city of Ralakar awaits. So we're gonna do a part 2 for this one, just because I said so. You know, unfortunately, not everybody who signed up at the Hero Errant level will be able to do 2 sessions with, but I want to make sure that we at least get through like a full adventure for each group, because it's also important for, you know, purposes of this is a living world. So just for my record keeping, we are going to say, so you guys left town on the 18th day of Ibram. 1, 2, 3. So you will be arriving at you'll be arriving in Ralakar on the 9th day of Kanuvar the Crown, which is the second to last month of the year, and at the towards the beginning of the fast of Lananoman. So that's where we'll pick up next week.
All right.
Guys, thank you. This is awesome. Like I said, very unexpected. I was like, probably nothing will even happen with the voyage. Is there any point? But then like I never let myself do that. I'm always like, well, no, you got to roll it out because something interesting might happen and you don't know what the downstream, you know, it's like butterfly flapping its wings. You don't know what the downstream effect is. So you always roll travel. So and in this case, the downstream effect was you guys understand the combat system pretty well now. So
yeah,
totally set for whatever happens next.
That is true.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody
Thank you,
watching
Richard.
along at home, thanks so much for your patience with us tonight. And we'll do another one of these recordings, which means that we'll have to wait 1 week longer to post the phase 1 of the Midnight War, but it's going to be totally worth it. So, all right, guys. Thanks very much and good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.